All right, hello and welcome. This is Eric from Onboard Gaming here for another episode of the Warmaster Challenge. I am here with our current champion Warmaster, Logan.
Hi.
He is our guest commentator tonight. Steven is playing a league game, playing one of our first OBG league here. So, Logan, how you doing tonight? Doing all right?
Yeah, doing well. Traffic was a little rougher on the way in, but it's all right. I'm here. I'm excited. Looking forward to seeing this game.
A little bit weird to see from this side of the screen, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Makes me wonder, how I must have looked. I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much.
Look perfectly fine, I assure you. And tonight we've got a great match. We've got the returning Steven from Shadowrunners. He's going to be playing his Chaos Space Marines. Very similar list that we saw last week. He's got the Rapier Carriers, he's got the Volkite Contemptors, and the Leviathan, and a whole bunch of Terminators. But we'll be talking about that in just a second. Right now we've got with us our challenger. This is Jeff from Xenos Petting Zoo. He is running Aeldari today. Jeff, can you introduce yourself real quick?
Hey guys, I'm Jeff. I play with Team XPZ out here. I've been playing the game for a while now. I would say about 13 years. Competitively, maybe 4 or 5. But I've been dabbling in Harlequins now. I've been a long-time Craft World player, but as many of you know, Craft World is a little bit sus right now.
You said sus. I think you mean
suspect.
OP.
Yes, they're very OP.
Yeah, that's why I
don't
know
think
he
I've
plays
lost a
them right
single
now.
game this edition with them, but it happens, So I'm trying to give my opponents an even playing ground. But basically today, my list is, I would say, a fairly standard Harlequins list. I've got 2 detachments. The first one being a Battalion, Frozen Stars, and in this detachment I have a Shadow Seer. The Shadow Seer has a pivotal role, so I'm spending 1 extra CP to get 2 pivotal rolls on him. So the first one being Shield from Harm, which is the -1 to wound bubble, which is going to be a 6-inch aura, and then Veil of Illusion, which makes every unit count as being 6 inches farther for the purposes of shooting. So if you have a 24-inch range gun, you're thinking that it's going to be 30 inches. So that comes really handy in keeping some of your stuff alive turn 1, and that is specifically only for masks. So if I have 2 different masks, that doesn't benefit a different mask. I also gave him a relic, the Shadow Stone. This increases all of his aura abilities and psychic powers by 3 inches. So those 2 auras that help protect the Harlequins from shooting, as well as melee, are now a 9-inch aura. The 2 psychic powers that the Shadows here took are Shield from Harm, they are Twilight Pathways, Webway Dance. Twilight Pathways is the Harlequin double move. Webway Dance is a 6-up Feel No Pain aura, so that will benefit from the Shadow Stone as well. Going down to my second HQ, I have a Troop Master with a Power Sword and Choreographer of War pivotal roll, so this is a 6-inch rerolling wounds in melee aura. The next Troop Master I have has my second relic, which is the Twilight Fang, which is Strength +2, -3, 2 flat damage, and you get a bonus attack for every battle round that it is. So battle round 3, you get 3 bonus attacks, etc., etc. Coming down to my troops.
So just real quick, I want to talk about that Troop Master for a second. So Twilight Fang, that's the relic that I think is pretty commonly used for that unit. I know I use it in mine. What is your general strategy for something like that? Are you trying to hold that character back for a while and then jump in there when it has maximum bonus attacks, or is that just an added benefit to having that weapon?
Yeah, I think everything you said there is pretty much spot on. And one of the benefits and biggest strengths of Harlequins is, you only have 6 choices of units, but they're really flexible. So it can change from game to game. Sometimes, I want to hold him back, wait till turn 5, and then pick up a unit off an objective because he ends up with 11 attacks, 2 damage, and I also gave him Darkness Bite, so he does 2 mortal wounds at the end as well. So that's going to pick up small infantry units that are maybe trying to hold that last objective that you can swing the game on, because I've won games by holding him back like that. But also sometimes it's really nice to get up there and get that punch early if you're able to protect him. So it's on a game-to-game basis. But I would say the biggest use for him, at least the way I utilize him, is kind of playing reserved with him until the right opportunity comes up and he can pick a unit off of an objective.
So he gets the +1 attack for whatever round it is. He's going to get the +1 attack for your Frozen Stars mask. So what's the max attacks he's going to get on last round? Is that going to be 11 attacks out of that one model?
Yeah, so if he gets in on the charge, he'll get 11 attacks, and you can also use the stratagem to fight twice with him.
Wow.
So you can pop 4 mortal wounds on someone and swing 22 times.
Jeez. And just going back to the Shadow Seer. So the Shadow Seer there is going to be kind of an integral unit to any of the foot troops you're going to be bringing with you. The -1 to wound on the infantry is going to be very useful since the Harlequins are all tough 3. The -6 inches to range, they do have this... the Harlequins do have a weakness to just small arms fire. The strength 4, no AP shots. They're going to see coming out of the Terminators high volume of shots because they have the invul. The AP doesn't necessarily matter, but it's going to hurt. So do you think that by having that singular unit there that's protecting the rest of your foot troops, is that going to make your movements a little bit easier to predict since they kind of have to follow that around? Or are you going to pick the right opportunity to have one of the foot units kind of jump out of that aura range and go do something important?
I would say the deployment is really easy to predict. I'm going to put everything next to the Shadows here and benefit from those auras. But I think the biggest strength of Harlequins is their movement. So having so many small units, 5-mans, or the units in the Star Weavers, I have the ability to say, okay, this one unit, I'm just going to double move them, or I'm going to auto advance them 6 inches, and I'm going to go swoop up an objective, and you can kill them after. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I've got 43 T3 models that are just taking 4-up saves, and like you said, mass fire is the more dice you can roll against them, the better. So it becomes about picking engagements and utilizing their movement. So that benefit where you act as being farther just lets you be that much more flexible with their movement because you can have that protection that you wouldn't necessarily have.
Okay, so we've gone through the HQs here. Oh, sorry, Logan, did you have something?
No, I was just thinking, yeah, all that sounds great. There is all of that flexibility there, and you have those multiple small units, and when those characters at 65 points can do that much damage, you have so many more options. It gets pretty nuts.
All right, so we've gone through the HQs here. Go ahead and continue on through your list.
Sure, so I've got, in this attachment, I have 4 different troop choices, all the same units, but different loadouts. I have 2 5-mans with Caresses, which are going to be Strength 5, -2 AP, 1 flat damage. I have another 5-man with 4 Caresses and a Harlequin's Blade, and that's simply just for points to fit things in. I have a big 9-man unit with 5 Caresses and 4 Blades, and normally I like to run 10-man with full Caresses or full Embraces, depending on the weapon that I'm choosing to run. But I tried to fit in the Incarn in this list, and I was able to do it by moving around some weapons, and I didn't have to drop too many bodies. But troops, like we were saying, are really flexible. They can go around, they can pick things up, and you'd be surprised what 25 strength 5 attacks can do, especially once you get the troop master rerolling to wound aura. They can also fight twice. And again, the biggest thing is that mobility. There's multiple stratagems that let you just abuse movement in the charge phase, in the fight phase. They have one that lets you consolidate in any direction, so you can punch something, and then I'm going to move away 8 inches. So they have a lot of flexibility with that lets you kind of pick and engage. As long as you can manage your movement right, they're really flexible.
All right. So what else you got on the list there?
So the last thing in this detachment is a Death Jester. This guy's use, for the most part, is he's going to utilize his ability Humbling Cruelty, which will deny enemy units Overwatch. If he scores a hit on that unit, they cannot fire Overwatch. So sometimes you run into armies that have ways to Overwatch with other units, for example, Ultramarines or Tau. But when you don't have that and you're charging a single unit, it can be really handy to just, turn off 10 flamers that are going to fire Overwatch, because that's pretty much a Harlequin player's worst nightmare. You never want to do that. So it's really nice to have that. And then if we go to my last detachment, it's going to be a Patrol of Dreaming Shadows, and the HQ in that is the Incarn. Now, this is probably my favorite model to play with in the game right now. Mm-hmm. It's a centerpiece model. I love the way it looks, and the way it plays is just, it's incredible. It's really tricky, and he's expensive, so if you mess it up in any way, he can kind of just get picked up, and then you're down 290 points.
Yeah.
His biggest ability that makes him really fun and really flexible, and I think perfect with Harlequins, is that anytime a unit dies, friend or foe, he can teleport to that unit. Now, you can't teleport into engagement range, but that still lets you teleport to an objective that you might have lost and sit there, or it lets you, the one thing that I like to do a lot is you can teleport to one of your units that got shot off the table and then heroically intervene into the unit that shot them, which if you manage it right, it can be something that doesn't want to be hit by him, and it can be a huge benefit.
Right.
And the way that Harlequins spread out, you can spread out really well and then put someone in a really bad situation where they go, wow, I really need to kill this 5-man troop, but if I do, all of a sudden the Incarn's going to be in my face and blow up my vehicle. Mm-hmm. His psychic powers they can be nice too. A targeted smite power, basically. It harnesses on a 6, it's Gaze of Yniad. If you roll 1 after you harness it, it's 1 mortal wound. 2 through 5 is D3, and if you roll 6, it's D6. So every now and then you get that 6, and you can just target something, and oh, cool, I did 5 mortal wounds on a really lucky roll. But his biggest use is definitely teleporting around, and there's so many ways you can utilize that with this list.
So we know that you were taking the Starweaver transports, but we also saw in the list that you're bringing 2 units of bikes. So Steven's got 3 dreadnoughts on the board and 2 rapier carriers that do count as vehicles. So which ones are you planning on ambushing first?
So they've all got a lot of shots. I think if I can get rid of any of them, that's going to be the most opportune thing for me. The Contemptor Dreads have less wounds than the Leviathans, so if I'm going to shoot at turn 1, I'm going to try and focus my fire and get rid of one of them, and I'm not going to hope for him to deploy poorly, but there's always the chance that I get off a double move with the bike unit, and that gives me a 32-inch move plus 2 advances, and then I'm going to charge, and unless he screens perfectly and I have no way to get rid of that screen, it can also let me tag another one, so if I'm able to shoot one off the table, tag another one with one of the bike units that double moved, that's pretty golden for me. Because if those shoot me, I'm in bad shape. So these are really good at getting rid of vehicles. Especially Relic Contemptors right now with Volkite are very common. Everyone plays Space Marines, right? Everyone's got these Relic Contemptors in their list. This is one way that lets you defend yourself against that, because other than this, they don't have a lot of answers to vehicles. Harlequin's biggest weaknesses are definitely going to be high toughness, which vehicles are high toughness, and monsters as well. So that's also another reason I like the Incarn in this list, because he gives you a way to deal with those tougher units. I'm playing Dreaming Shadow in this detachment, which also utilizes the fusion pistols that are in this detachment as well, and the Skyweavers, because when the models die, on a 4+, you're able to either shoot or do a single attack. So let's say I shoot at one of the Dreadnoughts, and I get it down to 2 wounds, and he's able to shoot back at me, and he kills one of them. I roll 4+, and then I get to shoot at it with my D6 haywire gun, and I get to kill it back. It doesn't always work that way, but it's really handy to have those extra shots and not just be put in a really bad situation and lose your usefulness. It just kind of, it doesn't double their effectiveness, but it gives you more usefulness out of it for sure. And it's also really handy with the fusion pistols. You can get tagged in with the 5-man troop after you shot fusion pistols at something, and then they kill you in melee, and you get to shoot a fusion pistol at them. So that's why this detachment is Dreaming Shadow. It lets you really utilize and abuse the fusion pistols and the haywire.
Awesome, sounds good. So as the challenger, you did get to choose the mission for this match, and you chose Vital Intelligence. Why is that?
So I chose Vital Intelligence for a couple of reasons. The first one was that I liked that it was a domination type mission. Hold 2, hold 3, hold more. As a Chaos player, you usually want to castle up with your characters, get all those rerolls, get those juicy abilities. So as a Harlequin player, I like to spread out. So if I can spread him out or force him to spread out, then I can play towards my strength and his weakness, all while playing the mission. I also liked this mission specifically because you hold the objective through your command phase, even if you move off of the objective, as long as you hold it at the top of your command phase and the opponent doesn't take it. So when I talked about the Incarn teleporting, there's so many situations where someone barely kills a unit, he teleports onto the objective, so I don't lose that objective, and then all of a sudden I hold it still at the top of my command phase, I can move off of it and continue to hold that objective. So ideally I'm thinking I can do things like that, I can spread out, I can make him want to spread out, and I can also suppress his movement by crashing onto him with my mobility and keeping him not necessarily in his backline because he's going to be deep striking Terminators most likely. But if I can spread him out and also use my mobility, spread myself out, then I thought it would play into my army's strengths very well.
All right, so let's talk about your secondaries for a second here. Let's just go through them real quick.
Sure. So the first one I took is Assassinate. I was kind of at a loss for the third one, to be completely honest. I didn't really like the mission-specific one in this instance for me. So Assassinate was going to score me 10 if I'm able to kill all 3 of his characters. With the new rules for Assassinate, if I kill his Warlord, I get +1 point. So I tend to think if I can score 10 on a secondary, it's not a 15, but the way that Harlequins play, which is mostly through primary, if I can score a 10 on a secondary and deny people primary, I'm in a good place. So that's where I was at with Assassinate, because at the end of the day, too, Chaos Space Marines aren't too tanky, and I have a lot of units that can easily snipe a character. By snipe, I mean with melee weapons. It's also possible with the fusion pistols, right, and the Star Weaver. They have a lot of mobility, and if he leaves even a little bit open spot, then I can get in there with 5 fusion pistols, and they're pretty good at killing characters. I took raised banners as well, just to kind of get more into that mission where I'm going to be spreading myself out. Ideally, I wanted to touch the 3 middle objectives. I want to raise my banners on them, hold them, and then stop him from getting to those objectives for the game and just be constantly ticking points without having to hold any of those objectives. So that's why that was also in the decision-making for the mission. Engage on all fronts. The easiest way to explain it is when you play Harlequins, it almost scores itself. If you have stuff on the table, you're going to be scoring Engage on all fronts. And that was my thought process with the 3 secondaries.
Nice. I think those are pretty strong. I think it's going to be a really good game. Thanks, Jeff. Let's go get Steven, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, so he's going to go grab Steven. We're going to have a little interview with him pregame here.
Yeah.
So, Logan, what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah, I do think that the Assassinate is an interesting choice because he's talking about spreading out, and he mentioned being able to control an objective after he moves off of it. And I'm thinking, well, that plays into the mission-specific secondary. And he does have more OPSEC than Steven, more mobility. So I kind of was a little surprised that he just didn't go harder on the mission stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, we've got our defender right now, Steven, coming into the room here. Let's get the mic going. Hey, Steven, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Glad to be back.
So you are facing Aeldari, and not even Drukhari today. How are you feeling about that?
Well, truth be told, I'm a little nervous. Harlequins are typically a rough matchup for me, but I'm actually feeling pretty good about this game. The mission combined with what he's bringing and what I'm bringing, I'm feeling relatively confident.
All right, so let's start walking through your list here. What are you bringing today? Pretty much the same list as last time. Well, let's just go through it anyways.
Yeah. It's very similar to what I brought last time. So we've got the Emperor's Children detachment, which we'll run through first. We got the Chaos Lord for Emperor's Children. He's going to be rocking his Combi Bolter Lightning Claw. We got the double brick of Terminators, 2 squads of 10, Combi Plasma, Lightning Claw. They're going to be some serious workhorses for me in this game. Their double shoot ability combined with the fact that those plasma are going to be wounding on 2s without any modifiers. And then if he does modify it, I can bring that back to a 2. As well as Lightning Cross is just going to shred through whatever troops he throws into me.
Yeah, and we saw those Terminator blocks perform very well in the last game. So, I mean, I think Jeff's really going to have to look out for those. The 4-up invul is good, but it's not always good. It's 50% good.
Yeah, you throw enough dice at anything and it'll die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then we got the Iron Warriors Battalion. Oh, actually, real fast, in the Emperor's Children, I dropped a unit of cultists, and I'm bringing a squad of 6 Noise Marines. We don't have a photo of them, unfortunately, but the Noise Marines, I think, are actually going to be a really nice piece here because they get to shoot even if they die, and just the weight of shots that the 6-man squad can put out is going to be really effective against some of those key units. So even if they're a sacrificial piece, they're going to be a great sacrificial piece for me.
Right.
Yeah, so then going into the Iron Warriors Battalion, we got the Chaos Lord, who's the Warlord. Same Warlord trait as last time. He's got the real hits and wounds of 1 for vehicles. It's going to be pretty key in a kind of a gun line tactic. And then we got 30 cultists. Good, solid troop choice. Went down to 5 points of models, so it freed up some more points for me, which was great. Then we've got the, let's go with the 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Same load as last time. The Fist is now at this point, it's not the optimal decision, but it's going to be effective, I think. If he does get into combat with me, then, then bikes are just dropping, and then his vehicles are dropping if he can get in there. And then otherwise, it's just extra shots. The other Contemptor is definitely going to be a key figure in this matchup. And then last but not least, we got the Leviathan and the Rapiers. Rapiers on this one, oh man, they are going to
so many
be
shots. I mean, this kind of a weapon is, I mean, the 2 damage is a little wasted against the regular troops, but just the weight of fire there and the range is so good.
Well, I'm thinking against the bikes, they're going to be just nasty because they're going to be hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then every 2 that go through is going to kill a bike. And so minuses to hit, yeah, it's going to be effective, but with the rerolls, I think they're going to make up for their points, especially because they went down 10 points per model as well. So that, and then the Leviathan, just to finish things off, he's always a workhorse. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. I'm always happy to bring him.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you've got a great list here. You've got a lot of DACA. You've got some good melee capabilities there as well. Is there anything you're particularly worried about?
I'm worried about what happens if he goes first and those bikes get up in my grill and just get a hot roll and pop the Leviathan and one of the Contemptors. That's going to be a big factor. So I'm going to have to really protect them. They have enough movement to where I think I can get them out afterwards and kind of fire away at whatever he's got. But it's going to be protecting those from a turn 1 shot and getting them just eliminated right off the bat.
All right, so let's go through your secondaries here. I saw that you took retrieve data. Can you kind of go through that?
So I've been playing around with that one, and I'm liking it more and more that I play with it. It's an easy one for me to just go, okay, turn 1 cultist, Tide of Traitors into a backline, and then they perform the action. I've got it in a backline objective for the rest of the game now. I don't have to worry about that. Cultists can also perform it in my own territories as the game goes on. And it's just a solid secondary choice the more I play with it. It's only 2 to get 4 points, which isn't great, but it's something. 3 to get 8, and then 4 to get 12. So it pairs also really nicely with Engage on all fronts, because that way I'm really focusing on getting in the table quarters, performing the actions, and I'm scoring points from my secondaries.
Very nice. And it looks like you also took retrieve data, Engage on all fronts, and then while we stand, we fight. So which units is that going to be affecting for your army?
While we stand is the Leviathan and the 2 Terminator blobs. One thing I was looking at in preparation for this list or for this game was Harlequins. I know because I play them myself. I was really interested in what secondaries he was going to take because Harlequins, if they play right, and I'm assuming he's going to play them in a particularly cagey way, they can really just play their own game and ignore your opponent. So my game plan really for this matchup is going to be how much can I interrupt his game? How much can I throw him off with what I'm doing and stop him from playing by himself in the corner?
All right. All right. Any thoughts on this slogan?
Yeah, for the While We Stand, those Terminators, it seems like there's going to be some big trades early, and then I'm very curious like what's going to be around to trade with those Terminators. So that pick makes sense to me.
Yeah. All right, Steven. Well, good luck. Go ahead and go back there. Start the roll off, and let's get this game going.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, so both players are going back to the board there, getting set up.
Yeah, there is definitely going to be a lot of, this turn one. I'm really expecting both players to deploy very cagey. They each have a big ruin in their own deployment zone. Steven definitely needs to hide as much as he can because if he makes it easy for those bikes to just come over there and put haywire, that's terrible. But similarly, Jeff needs to hide his bikes and his important things behind that ruin because though all of those contemptors and the Leviathan, like they have great range, and they can just take them down to where they're just an insignificant amount. But Jeff does have that redeploy stratagem, so there's going to be a lot. I feel like there's just going to be a lot happening in this first turn. It's going to be very interesting to see how it shakes out.
I think this match, a little bit more than some of the others, is going to be a little bit more dictated on who actually does get to go first.
Yeah.
Just because both of these armies have pretty significant first strike ability, and like you're saying, if Steven can go first and get those guns lined up on some of the more fragile Harlequin units, he's going to be able to just take them out just through straight weight of fire.
Yeah.
Like, even if with the buffs, even with the, if he goes first, okay, also, so if he goes first, Jeff's not going to have a chance to get off that 6 of Feel No Pain, psychic power. He does have the ability to use Polychromatic Storm to move some critical units out of the way if he needs to, but there's only so much that can do. Depending on how they deploy. So if Steven goes first, if he get line of sight on a few things and really take out some critical things, especially the bikes. Really, if he can take out those bikes turn one, or at least damage them to the extent where the mortal wounds isn't going to be as much of an issue, it's going to be a big problem. The fusion boats are nice, but I think they're better in the Soaring Spite mask. And
I really think that those boats, they need to get. I think they just need to get really aggressive and right up in those Dreadnought's face, so that if he does kill them, then you have a Yinkarn right there.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to try and fusion you, and he doesn't really have any counter punch starting on the board. All 20 Terminators are going to be off. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, you put all that there. You have one Dreadnought with a fist, but then that's it. Being able to shoot in combat's really good, but if you can just stall him and say, but I want you to shoot this instead, and now let me just go take the board, and then just really zoning out, limiting the options of where those Terminators can drop. And then he has Humbling Cruelty to slow those Terminators down. We could just see like this, the way it's set up from turn one, just kind of dictate the rest of the game.
Yeah, that combination of not only the Terminators are naturally not particularly fast, but Humbling Cruelty is going to slow them down by another 2 inches, plus the -6 inches to ranged weapons aura that the Shadow Seer has.
Yep.
I mean, that puts them at a maximum effective range of 18 inches plus move. You can stay out of that range or use line of sight blocking things to kind of get out of that threat range, and that's each Terminator blocks 330 points. That's a lot of points to sit there if it's not doing anything.
Right.
And if he's starting with both those units in Deep Strike, that's 660 points out of your entire army gone turn one. If Jeff can leverage that, I think, to get in there and take out some of Steven's critical units before that stuff hits the board. That could potentially shift this or swing this match in his favor, at least early.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I'm Jeff, I'm hoping for that turn one. I'm hoping to just push in very aggressively, try to take out like Leviathan and the 2 Contemptor Dread, the 2 Volkite Contemptor Dread. Turn one, if you can get a Rapier Carrier or 2, like, then you're set. But then if you have that second turn to then shoot again, you should have enough left to really like clear out a lot of those vehicles before the Terminators come in. And if you can make sure that all you're having to deal with are those Terminators, he'd be in a really excellent spot.
Yeah, and I really want to see Steven's deployment here, because if he puts those Leviathans too close, the Dreadnoughts too close to each other or too close to the Rapiers, I feel that there's potential there for those bikes to get in, unload their mortal wound dishing weapon, the Haywire cannons first, and then charge into something else, and then either tie it up or destroy it, especially the Rapier carriers, because they're not particularly tough.
Right. Yeah, they're not they look similar to like a Thunderfire cannon, but they're not as tough. They only have a 3-up armor save. They only have like 4 wounds. Yeah. He might, I mean, I think the golden play would be to Haywire a Contemptor, charge a Rapier, just kill it, and then just 2 CP run away.
Oh, yeah. I love that stratagem, by the way. You can only do it with 1 unit, obviously because it's stratagem, but it's so nice to move that extra 7 inches after you've done something. Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking Fire and Fade. No, you're thinking Curtain Call.
Yeah.
So they can do their full move after that.
Yeah,
so
full 16.
On those bikes, that's 16 inches of move. That's really good.
And yeah, we have those ruins right there in front of the deployment zone, so it is possible for some scenarios where he just like hops back into the middle and you can't really see him easily. And it looks like, okay, so Jeff is at the bottom and Steven's at the top. Looks like he's putting cultists in the ruin on the objective. Okay. I'm assuming there's not enough space in there to fit a Dreadnought?
I don't think you can fit it. No, not on the bottom level there.
Okay.
The ruins we have there is roughly, I think, 5 inches between the ground and top level. This Contemptor's a little bit tall.
Yeah.
So for those of you at home, this layout, we're using the new Vanguard Tactics suggested terrain layout for this mission.
Nice.
And also ruins for everything. What do you want to play these are dense. Dense? Yeah.
So as they're calling out the terrain keywords right now, we've got dense terrain in the top left and bottom right. And then those partially ruined walls on the left and right side. Those are both dense as well. So they're pointing at them.
Okay, so they're dense. Are they anything else?
And then the 6 larger blocks, standard ruins. So line of sight blocking, breachable, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I really like that Vanguard Tactics setup that Stephen Bach shared. It's really cool. I think they are pretty balanced on first look, and I have most of the terrain. I just need to get myself some containers, and then I can try it. But on paper, it looks really cool, and so.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at putting in a very large order of containers.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch at the shop, but not enough for like an RTT quite yet. At least to fill all the tables with containers.
Yeah, they're nice. They're modular. You can kind of make different shapes with them. You put 2 on top of each other. They're actually pretty tall.
Yeah. Instant obscuring terrain if you put 2 on top of each other.
Yeah, tall enough to hide a Contemptor, which I'm a fan of. I never leave home without 3 Contemptors.
I don't think anybody does these days, too.
No, and I'm playing Death Guard now, and I'm okay with it. It's because I'm doing a team event, and they said, okay, well, all the armies you want to do are taken, and so then they're like, well, Death Guard's open. I'm like, well, I can play 3 Contemptors in Death Guard, so okay, I'll be fine.
Is that your prerequisite for playing any army? Is you have to be able to take Contemptors?
Right now, yeah. And Death Guard's pretty good with Contemptors. So. Okay, looks like he's definitely spreading out. He's setting up his game plan for the cultists to get into each quarter and kind of making use of the ruins to hide, not really worried so much about the dents because that's not going to keep cultists alive.
No.
They have to just not be interacted with to survive.
Yeah, and Harlequins just have a lot of tools to kill. I mean, everybody has a lot of tools to kill cultists, but I think it's especially dangerous right now just because he can use that as a slingshot for the Incarn.
Yeah, and like any one of his units just kills cultists. I think maybe the fusion pistol squads for Dreaming Shadow might be a little iffy, but still they probably just kill the whole unit.
They'd actually be a little bit better just jumping out and hitting them with their strength 3 no AP attacks instead of firing the pistols.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually really curious to see how the Incarn performs here. It's one of those units that's it's expensive. It's got some cool clutch moves. It's a psyker. It can do a bunch of weird stuff, but it's pricey and it's not super hard to kill. So
no, especially with again Volkites and storm cannons and plasma. I mean that's a lot of stuff that you do not want shooting at your Incarn, because the plasma he has 10 Terminators doing that, so that's just a huge way to fire. Yeah. So all that 2 damage weapon just everywhere makes it really dicey for what the Incarn's going to do. I think he either needs to trade it early for a big shooting target, or if he can keep it, if somehow he's able to take out those big guns and then just use the Incarn on the periphery and just like grab an objective, like he was saying, grab an objective, it's mine. Move over somewhere else, grab an objective, it's mine. So, yeah. That unit is so cool, but man, it is really hard to use. But he's got that rapier all the way on the edge there. That's okay, so that's interesting. So he's able to get line of fire on objectives 3 and 4. But he's also pretty much like on his line. So
it feels very dangerous just due to the mobility of Harlequins.
Do they move 7 or 8?
8.
So that's 14 inches, right? Because you auto advance 6.
You have to spend CP to auto advance.
Right. But
you could take a large infantry blob and do that, or you can use the double move from Twilight Pathways to boost that as well.
Yeah. Also, that's just like Jeff could just put a boat on the bottom there.
That'll move 16, yeah.
Move 16, and then yeah, I'm just thinking like that's really close.
And Chaos Space Marines don't have a redeploy strat, do they?
Only who is it?
Sounds like a ZG thing to do.
No, Emperor's Children do. But I think it's only 1 infantry unit. I need to look that up. Yeah, where are we? It's Alpha Legion. I can never remember the order of these legions. There's Emperor's Children. So you can redeploy. He can redeploy 1 unit at the start of the battle round. Oh, but it doesn't have any restriction on it, so he just spends 1 CP per unit. So basically, it's only going to be his Emperor's Children, which are the Terminators. I'm assuming the Terminators and the Lord are in Deep Strike, so they can just all come down together. And then he has the Sonic Blaster, Noise Marines.
The Noise Marines, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe those are on the top there next to the cultists.
Yeah, a little 6-man right there.
Yeah, and just speaking about the Harlequin mobility, keep in mind they can advance and charge.
Yeah.
So, putting them that close, 24 inches is, they're not going to make that, but
48-inch shooting dart range as well.
they're not going to reliably make that, I should say.
Yeah. So Jeff is counter deploying with his boats on the left side. I'm assuming he's just deploying very defensively, just in case he goes second. But if he does win the roll-off, then he can just shove those forward. Spend 2 CP, put those boats on the line, kill some rapiers. Because, yeah, if you can get the boats to kill some rapiers...
Is this a good volume to speak? Like, they'll pick it up?
Probably a little louder would be better.
Okay. I'm gonna put the
So I'm not super familiar with this. It is 24 inches between the 2 deployment zones,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know that those boats are going to get
Oh,
infusion
because
range.
it's only 16 and 6, so that's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're pistols, not assault. I'm used to Meltas being assault.
Not everybody's as cool as the Imperium, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting used to that with the Death Shrouds. They have their flamers as pistols instead of assault, so getting used to all that goodness.
You can run the Soaring Spike mask, though, to turn those pistols into assault, which is quite nice.
Okay, that's cool.
And then the boat's auto advance 6 also. So that gives you 22-inch move and 6-inch firing.
Yeah, that's great.
But, there is still a case to be made with the mask that you chose for those, and that is to shoot on death.
Yeah, and normally when I've seen that run before, I've also seen the Warlord trait where you get to re-roll that 4-up roll.
Reroll? What do you mean?
So there's an aura you can take for Dreaming Shadow. It's one of the Warlord traits.
It also hurts wolves pretty bad.
Oh, it's add 1. Never mind, not a reroll. Add 1.
To charge?
For the Somber Sentinel rolls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you
Fighting back
shoot
on the
back.
3-up?
Yeah, you shoot back on 3. Okay, I knew there was a way to
That's
buff.
pretty good.
Except it's add 2 if there are Necrons on the battlefield.
Do you take the penalty as an artillery piece?
Why you gotta hate on Necrons? I mean, come on.
Right. They hate on they can hate on Necrons and Slanesh. No, that's regular Craft World that hates on Slanesh, isn't
No,
it?
I think that's
Or is that all of them?
that's all Aeldari.
You give any of your players the special player.
Yeah, Prismatic Blur could also be really good here if you're able to take down a lot of decent amount of volume, and then just Prismatic Blur a unit, and just like, all right, this unit's probably gonna live.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be tough to chew through. I think, best use probably on, I'm almost thinking the foot troops. Because they can do the advance and charge, so you run out there, you advance, you get a 3-up invul charge, you maintain it to the next round. It's not too bad. He's probably not going to want to use it necessarily on the bikes just because you don't really want to be advancing him to get the -1 to hit. Because they still take that penalty for firing assault weapons. He's going to really need to optimize the bike firepower to kill those treads. It'll be interesting to see if he gets what he targets with those first. I know he wants to kill that Leviathan, but I think the Leviathan might be a little too tough to kill in one turn, even with 9 bikes on the board.
He's got Iron Warriors can spend a CP to give him a 6-up Feel No Pain. I believe Delightful Agonies he can give it a 5-up Feel No Pain. So, killing it turn 1 before it gets any of those buffs could be, might be your best chance. But he's got that one Dreadnought up at the top and in the middle, so that's interesting. Yeah, he's got those bikes right there. He can just move up, get that Dreadnought up there at the top, and there are some actual just dudes there. So if he could just haywire that Dreadnought and soft charge some boys and do a wrap, that would be interesting.
That's definitely doable. Because like I said, the bike's auto advance 6, so he's got the 16 move plus 6. He'll be -1 on his shooting if he does that, but then he can charge in there, and that might be worth the trade.
Yeah, well, and if you get 5 bikes, even at -1 to hit, 5d6 haywire shots probably just takes 9 wounds off that dread. And if you can, okay, here we go. Oh, Jeff is going first. Okay, this is huge. What is he going to do with it? Because he's got those 2 infantry units side by side. That would be golden for him to wrap both.
That is a good target.
But I'm always looking for the cute place.
Oh yeah, if you don't mind.
All right, since Jeff is going first, we're going to increment his CP by 1.
Okay. So at the top of my turn for Battle Intelligence, I do control this one. Command phase, so if I move off it, it'll still control it.
Okay, he's just pointing out that he's got objective 2, so he's probably going to intend on just moving away from there since he no longer has to physically have a model on there to control it on his next turn. So, yeah. This is a good mission for Harlequins who just want to move around.
It's still really nice though, having that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that he's got to be looking at, where he wants to be. I mean, Steven has all of his shooting on the right side. I don't think he is redeploying anything.
Doesn't look like it.
It just seems like he wants to just take off these units and just force Steven to play in his half of the board.
Yeah.
And he's not even going directly at them. This is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to get up there and grab that objective, but I don't know that he needs it.
He's definitely going for more of the let me kill something and hold something right now.
Right. But he's only going to get 1 turn to do as much damage as possible before those Terminators can drop. So
this turn and then his next turn. So I'm just thinking like that Leviathan is right there. I'm just curious why he isn't moving those 5 bikes in a way where he can grab 0.6 and still get line of sight on that Contemptor to haywire it and make it really difficult for that Leviathan to get line of sight on those bikes. And then on the next turn, they come out and kill something. Because right now, they're just out in the open.
And that is why you're the Warmaster.
I mean, he's touching 2 objectives. It's just like...
Well, I mean, we shouldn't get too hard on him yet. I mean, he's just started his move. He's just moved 1 thing there, so...
Yeah, I'm very curious what he's going to be doing. There is a lot to coordinate here.
Right.
He's got a lot of assets right now. And the nice thing about Harlequins is there's no, in my mind, there's like no stress of like, I don't want to get tabled. Because as Harlequins, you're just thinking, well, I'm going to get tabled, but do I get tabled in a way where I win by like 50 points?
That pretty much sums up every game that I've played as Harlequins.
Yeah, just like I've seen Harlequins players who like they have 3 models left, but they win like 95 to 45. And you're like, okay, that looks silly, but that's how Harlequins play.
Yeah, it looks like he's moving those bikes up there, all of the bikes. He's going to concentrate fire, I assume, on that Dread in the top center.
Maybe he wants to also take out some of his action monkeys. Just
possible.
Why is he's just really focusing on like all 9 bikes up there in the top left. So he's definitely set up to kill all of that, and if you want to force the Noise Marines to shoot at something inconsequential, then like the bikes are probably your best bet, or a Skyweaver.
Is there any penalty for when the Noise Marines fire back, or they just fire regular ballistic skill?
Yeah, they just fire back.
And the bikes are naturally -1 to hit to shooting attacks, so take a little punch out of them.
Yeah.
I always hate though that they're tough 4. I always want the Harlequin bikes to be tough 5.
Yeah,
Freaking Marines,
it feels wrong. Okay, he's moving up that Shadow Weaver, and I mean, shuriken cannons can actually just kill that rapier carry if you put enough shots into it.
Not one of them though. I mean,
but not one. No.
No.
If like all 3 of them were there, then maybe, but not one. So it seems like he's doing his best to like zone out the middle and the left side and just force Steven into the right side. And just kill off everything up in the top middle and just say, okay, you have range, but you don't have the movement to come out and grab objectives.
Right.
So I'm going to beat you on primary.
The 9-man will advance. So the 9-man advancing 4 inches.
Which is totally understandable, but that's not how I like to play.
So the 9-man troop unit there in the bottom left advanced. They got a 4, so they're going to do a 12-inch move.
That's nice.
I'm just like, well, I don't really have to think about it. I just move. I'm pretty much thinking, which wall can I get behind? And that's about it.
He is able to hide pretty well, so he will have something to shoot back when Steven does pop out to get his shots.
Mm-hmm. Making a big conga line of troops there.
Yeah, yeah, he's just making sure that those dreadnoughts and the carriers and all that just cannot see him. Yeah, there's the conga line. Man, he's making some really good progress on those Harlequins, and to see those diamonds done so well,
That's so good.
that's just so impressive. To see a Harlequin player who really takes the time for that, that's just, man.
Are you trying to shame me right now, Logan? Because it sounds like you're shaming me on my paint job.
I'm not a hobbyist at all, but it's so impressive to me when I see it. I'm just like, oh my god.
I did one model in full diamond patterns and decided that I was never doing that again.
I hope it was a troop master at least, or
It
Shadow
was
Seer.
not. It was not.
Just a regular player.
Just a regular player. I have one fully painted player. Yeah. Thanks, Duncan, for your tutorial. I followed that, and it looked really good. But one is enough.
Yeah. Oh, I put a lot of effort into a Poxwalker, and I'm like, all right, I'm really committing myself to pain now because they all got to look.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm not really a good painter, so so I can just kind of make it up and say I put a lot of effort into it.
All right, Troop Master there advancing. Getting the 4s. He's going to go another 12.
He's definitely staying bunched up. He doesn't have to be this bunched up to zone out, but he is just like hiding behind all of the walls.
The 9-inch Ori is going to get on the Shadow Seer is really helpful. It's a little deceptive there because you kind of accidentally get out of lookout sewer range sometimes, which I've done in the past.
I'm curious if he's... it looks like the Shadow Seer is definitely no chance of getting up there to cast Psychics on those bikes. Like, he's not going to Twilight Pathways them.
No, I mean...
He's not going to spin the strat to, like, have them benefit from Shield from Harm. They're just kind of, like, out there on their
He
own.
might be able to get the bikes shield from harm.
Maybe the
depending on
4
exactly
man.
where he gets. Yeah, not the top one.
Yeah.
So they're going to go down, and they'll raise my first banner once the move phase is over.
Okay, the guys that were on top.
Oh, they were actually on top. That's interesting.
That is interesting, actually.
Were they on? Is there a lip on there that they could actually hide behind, or could?
Yeah, there's a lip there.
Okay, yeah. Players are pretty small, I guess. Except I have the old like 2nd edition, 3rd edition players, which are like they're almost like squats. They're so small.
I do like the newer models, but whenever I try to get a bunch of them close to each other, all of their arms and limbs hooked together, like
Yeah.
Same problem with Tyranids, all the stupid long limbs.
Oh man, Hormigons are the worst.
Yeah, right.
Gene Stealers aren't much better.
Gene Stealers are optimized to have those curled limbs on the sides that just literally hook into each other like the barrel monkeys thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, he's casting Webway Dance.
Yep.
So this is warp charge 7.
And he gets it.
You were out of denial range, so that'll go off. So
Yeah, so Webway Dance goes off on a 7. That was successful, and that's going to give him a 6 of Feel No Pain aura around the Shadow Seer. He does benefit from the relic here, so it's going to go up to a 9-inch aura.
Where is the Shadow Seer exactly? Is it like underneath those?
So it's hard to see from the top angle here. I believe it's the model on the bottom left.
Or he put the card up high. Is it standing right by that Starweaver?
I need to get a better angle on it, so I'm going to ask the table, and we'll get a response soon.
So I have. I'm gonna measure first for Claire. I don't know where. I don't know if I can get any fusion pistol shots, and if I can't, I'm just gonna move the 10 net. So I have a 22-inch ring.
Where's your Shadow Seer?
Right here.
Shadow Seer is right there.
Really have. I can shoot down.
Yeah. So I guess he's just measuring out his movement ranges. Okay, so he is double moving Starweavers.
Yeah, the Shadow Seer is in between the Star Weavers.
Okay, so all right,
Right,
so
yeah, right
that
between
guy,
the two there.
So he's going to double move that one. Interesting.
Angle it so
That's an aggressive move. I'm not sure where he's going with that.
So I think he's just like making sure that he cannot be killed off of 6 or 5, and he just really wants to hold both of those by his next command phase. Because you kill the Starweaver, the boys hop out. You kill them, the Incarn teleports.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on to the shooting phase. That transport on 4 is firing its shuriken cannons into the rapier. Needs 3s to wound. Ooh, we got 1 at -3.
1 minus 3 will be the white die, the other
And then 2 wounds at no AP.
6s and 3s. So that's 1 wound, and we pass the other 2.
Okay.
So 1 wound goes through.
6s.
Take some pop shots from the Starweaver into the Noise Marines.
We've got that second Star Weaver on objective 6, firing into the Noise Marines.
Not advance again.
He did
Wait,
not advance.
what's the AP when you?
The shuriken cannons are AP nothing unless you have a wound roll of 6, and it's AP -3.
Oh, minus. Okay, not -4. Okay.
6 up save, fails that, and the armor save passes that. So we're going to have 1 guy die, we'll pull him.
So we had 2 wounds go through on the Noise Marines.
Take a shot at the 5-man bike squad. Pew pew.
1 was saved, and 1 was not.
-1.
All hit.
Oh,
Ooh,
all hit. Angry.
yikes.
4 ups.
Taking some 4-ups. Takes 1 wound.
1 damage.
1 damage.
Okay.
Oh, it was a 1 damage gun. Yeah, because you have to spend stratagems to get them to 2 damage.
That was an addition.
It's a little less cool on just 6 guys, so.
It's not gonna be on the front guy, but.
Does that last for an entire turn? Like, would that work on the fire on death?
You might have to do it every phase. Let me see. Oh, actually, it's only in your shooting phase, so never
Gotcha.
mind. Yeah, so a little less cool, but still cool.
Next up, I am going to shoot the 4-man Skyweaver.
All right, so we have the 4-man bike squad firing into the Contemptor there,
Oh.
the top center.
Interesting. He's starting with a 4-man. I guess he thinks that the 4-man could possibly kill it.
Oh, I'm not shooting the bullets.
He's going to have to roll real well for 4 of those bikes to kill that in 1 round.
Yeah, because I would think that you would probably start with the 5-man into it and maybe kill it.
4 going into the Leviathan. Sure.
I think the 5 has a little bit better line of sight, just in case, on the off chance it does kill it, if he needs to pick new targets.
So we've got 10.
Oh, that was a pretty decent roll for a number of shots.
Actually, no, it's 1 better than average.
6.
So what was that, 15?
12. 15.
Yep, 15. Hitting on 3s.
Oh, that's a good way to start.
Oh, he's really going to hope he rolls all those 6s for the wound roll.
Better than average consistently.
All right.
And then T7, so I need 5s and 4s are mortal wounds.
Yeah, 4s and 5s is 1 mortal wound. There's a 6.
So D3 mortal wounds.
Okay, that's
It's okay.
The D3 mortal wounds
Does 2.
5 mortal wounds, and I'm taking 4 saves. 2 saves.
So he's got 5 mortal wounds and 2 saves.
So not gonna die,
I failed 1.
but
Wounds total.
lost 2/3 of his wounds.
Fire within, iron without to give me 6 of feel no pain.
Oh, he did give the 6 up feel no pain.
Is that a strat?
Yeah, 1 CP.
Okay, so see if I get back on clear Twilight. No. Okay. The next unit is going to shoot at him as well. 5 men, so 5 Skywavers going into the Dreadnought.
All right, he's firing that entire 5-man bike.
He's not playing around.
Yeah. Now those 5 bikes should be able to shave off the rest of those wounds.
18, 20.
20 shots.
Firing the same guy.
Yes, same guy.
Yeah, that should do it.
12, 16. Hitting on 3s.
So he's being pretty disciplined here, not splitting his fire, even though that's pretty tempting. But honestly, those cultists and noise marines are gonna die whenever he wants them to.
Right. I think that was a wise move. Splitting fire would inevitably leave that dread with 1 wound left.
So 2d3 mortal wounds as well. So there's 4 saves.
Yeah,
And then
4 armor saves,
And 2d3 mortal wounds.
5,
So there's
6, 7, 8, 9.
9 mortal wounds.
yikes.
Saves first. Alright, pass all the point.
And fails 1 save. So we got 10 total feel no pains.
So
Probably got here, but just for the miracle roll, no. Just here.
all right. Just to point out, if he would have done the 5-man first, he would have had the 4-man to shoot into those cultists and just wipe them out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Jeff is spending 1 CP to fire and fade.
5-man unit. Yeah. So
Okay.
when I get a CP back,
Interesting. So he's doing the fire and fade.
I picked up the other one before, so I'll do it again. Sure. Nope. So they're gonna move 7 inches.
Yeah, there's so many tricks, so much coordination.
Yeah.
He's just gonna, I guess, move him back.
I'm not sure where he's going with these things.
He's shoving him forward.
I mean, he might be trying to get them out of line of sight of that Leviathan over there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's got the movement to do that.
Oh wait, now he's
Nope,
changing his
going
mind and
forward.
moving forward.
No.
I would like one.
Okay.
Wait, he's not even checking the range, the threat range of the Leviathan, who has he has a 44, so pretty much if he can see it, he can shoot
Right.
it. But can you fire and fade and charge?
You cannot.
So
Hope he knows that.
Okay, that's interesting. I would have thought he would have moved him back
I'm
to
going to
get
check
in,
that strat real quick just to make sure.
in range of the Shadow Seer for some defensive
Yeah.
buffs.
Yeah, cannot charge.
Jeff just said he did not know that. What did he not know?
That'll be it.
So, no morale to make.
Okay, he's just ended his turn. He really just hung his.
Performed 1 action. Any other?
He just more exposed his bikes, and he left the wounded bike on the point. I don't think that's the only model he has on the point.
So we'll rip those bikes, I guess.
Go up to 7 CP. Let's go ahead and start some.
There's okay. I can't.
All right, we're moving on to Steven's phase. No charges on Jeff's side, so we're going to give Steven CP here.
They're going 8.
We've got some advancing cultists
Yep.
rapidly moving towards the point.
Building is right here. For half the guys, and then the other half will be inside the first floor.
Oh, for the cultists.
For the cultists, yeah.
Okay. I was like, man, I've never heard of Chaos Marines, Deep Strike, or the Terminators coming down for everyone.
No.
That I've heard.
Cultists can.
I just didn't know the name of the strategy.
Yes, cultists can tie the traders turn one.
Yeah.
Is this your Coke, Jeff?
Yeah.
You want it over there?
Yeah, please. I'd appreciate it. I'll grab my water too, so.
Is that the hydro flask?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we have the anchor? I scored 2 engaged.
So I guess he's really wanting to hold the Skyweavers back to kind of have more of an answer against the Terminators. But it's only 4 fusion pistols in each boat.
I mean, those are definitely going to be better against, or taking out those dreads. They've got a pretty decent strike range. They could take some small arms fire. I don't think they're going to be super great against the Terminators, not because they can't kill them, but just their
Yeah.
weight of fire is too low. 5 pistols shoot, you're going to kill 1 or 2 Terminators, maybe.
Yeah. And doesn't he only have 4 in the list right now? It
Yeah.
seems like, yeah. Yeah, each boat is only carrying 4 fusion pistols. So it's like you'd want to throw all 3 of them at one target and try to just like take them down really low.
But like I said, they are good at killing vehicles because it's, the D6 damage, and you get to roll 2 dice to take the higher if you want, if you get within 3 inches. They're actually pretty decent at murdering characters too.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he wants to kill those Terminator squads, I think the 9-man foot troops are going to be their best bet. That with the extra attack, the reroll wounds, and then you can spend CP to add +1 to their damage. I mean, that's where you start killing Terminators.
I'm very confused about these bike placements. I don't think that 4-man bike squad, I think it probably has like a toe on the objective, but like,
The 4-man?
yeah, the 4-man, it looks like,
It does not appear to me that they're over any of the objectives.
it kind of looks like that one's base is like rubbing up against number 6.
Now, for models like that, do you measure from base or is it hull or both?
Base. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not, I think like the hover rule typically only applies to like vehicles. I think that's usually the ones that have it.
Yeah, so that dread did move out. He's going to get... I mean, he's got direct line of sight to those bikes. And then
Yeah, he didn't even
the
need
cultists
to
are
move
there.
to get
No,
that.
he didn't. The Rapier's got line of sight on the Star Weaver and the other bike squad, and so does that dread.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's zoom in on that side real quick. Yeah, we've got that second dread on point 1. Yeah, that can definitely fire there.
Player Twilight, see if I get it back on a 2.
So he's spending 2 CP for Tide of Traitors.
Yep. So just pull some cultists and redeploy them, or basically outflank with them. I think they can come back on any table edge.
It's always so nice to get 3 back, though. Especially on someone else's stratagem. It's like, oh.
So as you will see, Jeff is rolling a die every time that Steven spends CP. That is part of the Warlord trait. Twilight Paths. So if every time your opponent rolls or uses command points, you get to roll a dice. If your dice rolls however many command points that stratagem was, you get that. They did just FAQ that, so you can only get it 1 time per turn, though.
Yeah, that's a little silly. Player of the Twilight.
Player of the Twilight there. I knew Twilight was in there somewhere.
They have a lot of
Yeah.
Twilight stuff.
Tide of Traitors.
If you just say Warp Way or Twilight or Shadow, you pretty much covered every...
Maybe a
weapon
little
stratagem.
prismatic every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go.
From the depths.
All right, so we got a bunch of traders popping up in the back corner there.
So that's going to force him to put something back there to kill them. Otherwise, they're just going to come up and take the point eventually.
That's interesting. I mean, there is a Troop Master right there,
Yeah.
which could probably solo them.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a non-zero chance that they can kill him with their auto guns, but I mean, it's not great.
Yeah. And maybe the Troop Masters are probably his best answers to those Terminators. Just go in there and just like,
I wouldn't put them in there. I would use them as a buffing unit for the rest of the stuff because their aura is going to allow rerolling wounds. Yeah, I mean the Fang, the Twilight Fang is 2 damage. It's strong, rerolling wounds. It gets a lot of attacks, but I would just be worried about losing it, not being able to kill enough of the Terminators and just immediately losing them because the Terminators have so many attacks.
yeah. But you get a free kill basically because of Darkness Bite,
Yeah, that's true.
and then
Just got to make sure you trade up whatever you're doing.
yeah, and then just attack twice. I mean, he 100% gets his points back, but
Yeah. But still, losing that reroll wounds for the rest of all your melee fighters hurts.
So he used lightness fast reactions.
So I think we had a combo of strats there to +1 to hit and then -1 to hit again, leaving him a...
Oh, did he get that +1 off prescience? I didn't even see him cast.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he even did he miss his psychic phase? Because he didn't even do delightful agonies.
He doesn't have a psyker, does he?
No, he's got
Because he didn't talk about having a sorcerer this time. Oh no, he does.
yeah. I saw that delightful agonies and prescience.
2 damage each, right? 2 damage each? Okay, so I'll do them 1 at a... I guess it doesn't matter, because I've got 1 or 2 left, so... 4s.
These are all 4-up invols. That was a real good roll.
2 guy dies, and 1 guy takes 2.
He lost 2.
So, come over here.
That's really strong.
Yeah, that's
Because I don't
pretty
think that Contemptor can put any shots on him. He needs to pull that front bike to make sure.
Yeah. Let's see if he does it.
We'll do him first. So on a 4+...
That is huge.
Nope.
And the guy that
So the next guy...
So right now he's rolling those.
Why goof that?
It's the 4-up.
Yes, he kills the right one.
Okay.
Roll the 4-up.
I get to shoot.
4-up. He's gonna be able to fire. Nope.
Nope. Ooh. 0 for 2.
And then wounds on that front one.
Okay, he does have Volkites here. Forgot about the chest guns. So that can probably...
I didn't get any of them.
firing Volkites.
Here comes the Volkites. Hitting on 4s.
Yep. Oh. 2?
2 hits.
Oof.
That's good. Lightning fast.
Yeah.
Worked.
2 wounds. No AP.
No mortals.
4s. Take them both.
Ah.
So he dies, and the next one takes a wound. So on a 4-up, he shoots. He does.
All right. That one does fire on death. Firing into the Leviathan.
I can see him.
All right.
D6 shots.
Can get D6 attacks here for
Ooh,
6. That's
got
pretty
the
good.
big 6.
Yep.
All right. Just imagine if those other 2 bikes would have...
1 miss.
Man.
T7. So 5.
Gonna need 5's wound here.
So 2 mortal wounds and 2 armor saves.
2 armor saves.
2 mortal wounds, 2 saves. Both failed.
Wait, no. Leviathans have a 2-up save. He only failed one of those. He rolled a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, you're right.
And then last but not least, we have our single Hellstrike missile.
Okay.
Hits on a 6. That's off.
So we're going to get that corrected.
Yeah, I'm sending that to the table right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Leviathan,
Okay.
Chaos, and Imperials maintained a 2-up armor save, but they went down to a 5-up invulnerable save.
Does the Leviathan have a 2-up or a 3-up? Armor save? Yeah.
I don't know that answer. I'm guessing.
Yep. So they're going to look it up.
Oh, that would mean you made one of them, yeah.
That means you made one of them.
Right.
So they're just saying it's a 2-up.
I would trust Logan's opinion on that.
It is a 2-up.
Okay, so
So we did relay that to the
Yeah.
table. They are adjusting. They said they trust Logan's opinion. No mention of my opinion. Apparently, they don't care about what I have to say. It's just
Yeah, Leviathan got nerfed a lot. It went down from toughness 8 to toughness 7, from 4-up invulnerable to a 5-up. Lost ability for rerolls because it doesn't have core. Lost 4 shots off the storm cannons. It's just so many things it lost. But dang it, it's got that 2-up armor. And it went down a lot in points.
Yeah.
So there's that. So what are these Volkites shooting at? I'm assuming the 4-man bikes.
So that is 3, 7. 7 saves.
Oh, there was 2 6s.
roll them all.
Oh no, he says 1 damage.
Kills the spell.
Yep, that would kill.
Did the last
So
2 get to shoot?
the 2 guys. So the first one that's closer to you, 4-up, gets to shoot. He's going to shoot his haywire into the Leviathan. So D6 shots.
Okay, I missed that. What shot at them?
yeah, I did not see it.
Dude, come
I'm
on.
sorry about that.
Give me a break.
He rolled another 6 to shoot that Leviathan.
There you go. And then 4s are mortals, so 3 mortals.
3 mortal wounds and 2 saves.
2 saves.
2 3-ups.
1. And then
No, it wasn't the cultists. I don't think.
Yeah, because the cultists advanced. No, but those are assault
No.
weapons. No,
They're not. They're like las guns, I think.
yeah, they're las guns.
Oh, he's got the noise marines in there still.
Oh, noise marines are still alive. They're just hidden. Yeah,
We need to get transparent terrain.
yeah. You needed that acrylic terrain. Yeah, so noise marines, and he didn't use any strat to like buff them up.
Oh,
Now the Yinkarn can come down on the point.
but he's not on the point.
He's not putting him on the point.
I can.
Oh my gosh.
Would you agree that you cannot see me with the Leviathan before I make that decision? Yeah. The contemptor, sorry.
I cannot.
Okay.
So he's dropping him after all of the things in that area can shoot, and he's putting him within 3 inches of this cultist so he can heroically
Hercules
intervene.
intervene on his opponent's turn. So to answer chat, it is a 2K game, which somebody already answered. I am too slow.
Yeah, he's definitely going to heroically intervene in those cultists and just like hurt them. But he doesn't have a ton of attacks. What does he have? 6 attacks?
He's got enough to kill cultists. I mean, then what's their morale like? 3.
Good point. Good point. So it should definitely hurt them.
Only got 2.
Oh. Okay. 2 4-ups.
All right, so we got 2 4-ups coming in.
So 2 damage.
This is from the rapier character, the rapier carrier.
Into the wow.
Yeah, into
that's
that.
big.
That is pretty good.
Oh my gosh! Now he's got a full Shadow Weaver within striking range of the rapiers of the Contemptor.
Yeah, and it's not particularly hard to kill those. They only have 6 wounds.
He just fired 2 missiles, missed both times because he was hitting on 4s. I'm
Yikes.
assuming these are going at the bikes.
Yep.
Hitting on 4 is rerolling once.
Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Failures out now.
Yep,
Man,
there's
lots of
that
2s
too.
there.
Whoa! Converted basically all of those.
Winning on 3s. 6 is 2.
And there are some 6s.
Oh, there's a bunch of 6s.
Alright. So we've got
One guy dies for sure.
3 mortal wounds.
Wait, he's saying one guy dies for sure. What about his feel no pain?
I think he's.
Good idea. We should probably
Yeah, just to keep track of it because we both are doing that.
Yeah, that
hopefully
unit looks pretty close to 9 inches away from the Shadow Seer.
So 2 die. So 3 die.
3 of the 4 die.
So
I believe that was 4 fave saves.
4 up invul. So
Yeah, the Yinkarn cannot charge after teleporting, but he can heroically intervene.
next one. Yep. On the 4 up. No. And the final one. On 4 up. Yes. What can he shoot at?
So we did lose a bunch of those bikes there. That does represent a significant amount of his anti-armor firepower. That's a little bit rough. He did get to move the Incarn, and he does have another transport within strike range of that Leviathan or the Contemptor, so we'll see. But, I mean, that's a lot of points to lose.
Can I kill enough guys where you can't hurt?
Those are 55 points a model.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
Shoot them. So this guy Weaver will be shooting at the cultist. Sure.
So he's shooting at the cultists, I guess, to...
So I'm getting minimum 3, 4.
4 shots. 3s and 3s to kill.
So to answer chat, no, the Harlequin player does not have anything in Deep Strike right now, or reserves.
So one cultist is already down.
So I lost 3 for purpose of morale. So on a 6, they can run.
Cool.
Yeah, cultists have a leadership of 6. So...
Got 1 more heavy voltage shot. I'm debating whether one
So there will be a non-zero chance that those cultists will fail morale in his own turn.
So the Shadow Seer was not giving those bikes feel no pain?
So
I'm gonna go into the last bite.
I can intervene to tell people that they're doing something wrong, but not that they're missing something. So it's unfortunately up to the player to remember their own rules and make sure they're in aura range, etc.
Got it.
But hits like that. And then 3s again.
No, he did get the cast. Responding to chat, yes, he did get the 6-up Feel No Pain cast off. That's what that card is, sitting on the center left side.
There to remind him.
No, he didn't. Cool.
All right. So It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
And that card is right in front of him.
Yep.
Ruined output from Vikes or Dawn, which is huge. Granted, he's at 7 wounds, but I'll take it. I'm debating if I want to shoot again with the Noise Marines. And I think
So right now, Steven's debating spending command points to shoot twice with Noise Marines. Target right there is going to be the Incarn. I don't think they'll be able to kill it, but you can do some damage to it.
Yeah, because he can give them 2 damage. I mean, he can spend a lot of CP here to try and kill it.
He's only got 5 left in the tank, though. Is that going to be worth it, you think?
I mean, it's
so. One for veterans, which is 1 CP.
Oh, he's going for it.
That one.
So he spent
I don't want to roll for that.
You don't? Okay.
he spent for veterans the lawn war. He's spending more to upgrade the strength,
I'll play her twice.
and then another 2 for endless cacophony. Wow.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to get a board check to see how many that actually totaled up to.
All their Blastmasters are at strength 5.
So excruciating frequencies is 1.
One guy with
Uh,
actually, I'm gonna go
cacophony is 2, and that so he spent 4.
Is he down to 1 then?
Yeah.
All right.
I should just teleport it here. I forgot that Slanesh can double shoot.
Yeah, so he's only got 5 guys, but that's still 15 shots.
Did strength 4 weapons?
Strength 5, but
Oh,
it
and
doesn't
then plus
matter
1.
'cause he's
So
tough-
he's still wounding on
Still wounding on 5s.
4s, right?
He's T6. Unicorn's T6.
But he used veterans.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Never mind.
6 shots for him.
Okay.
So
2 shots. Great. I'm at 1.
okay, yeah, we did confirmed
So he's got 2
Jeff, or
This
sorry,
is-
Steven's
this
at
is a
1, but Jeff's at 6. So I'm gonna update that.
He wounds with 1.
I'm slowly hoarding them. So
So 1 save and 2 damage.
4 up. Takes it.
Oh, that's not good.
Of course, it's a 6. Huh? Oh,
There you go.
well, take 1.
So he's at 8.
He's got 15 more shots.
This is
That's damage 2, sir.
I made one of the fuel no pains.
Oh, that's right. So hitting on.
So we did take 2 damage there, and then made 1 feel no pain for a net 1.
okay. That's a healthy amount. So can he? How many 4s can he get?
That's
4.
we'll see how the
4 up in.
4 pinballs go.
Alright.
That's
Failed 2.
Damage.
4 fuel no pains.
So he's gonna live.
whoa, yeah, he blocked 2 of those.
Lives at 4. Can he? He can heal himself, right? But no, his own like Yunari stuff has to die near him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Charge into your Incarn.
Sweet.
Noise Marines are charging the Incarn.
They're gonna get it.
They make it in there with a 7.
Interesting. So he's not going to get the heroic intervene. He's protecting his cultists. Noise Marines sacrificing themselves to defend cultists.
Sure. But I mean, if he wipes those Noise Marines, there's only 5 of them. He can then just consolidate into the cultists.
True. At this point, I don't think he wants to because he probably just wants to be
Wants
able
to
to move
move
out
around.
and then psychic. You know.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Fight with them.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn another. My last CP for veterans of the long war.
He's going to do vets again.
Twilight?
Wow.
Nope.
There's your 2.
Yeah.
So each guy has 2 attacks except for the sergeant who has 3. Sergeant also has a chainsword.
Okay.
So we'll open up with him. 3 attacks base, +1 for hateful, +1 for chainsword.
Sweet.
Okay, 2s and 4s.
1 save.
1 save.
4 up.
Nice.
Ooh.
Take it.
Takes 1.
Jeff is not rolling the 4-ups.
Nope.
The guys. So
That's a weird thing about having a constant 4-up invul but no other armor save. Like, it just feels so swingy.
you know what? I'm gonna go without shooting or fighting with Lonnie because I just realized I've been rolling as if I had 5 other guys there, not 4, for the shooting that they got.
Oh.
Like you were shooting as if it was 9 guys.
Shooting as if so each one has 3 shots.
Yeah.
So we've got
Counting an extra guy being
a thing going on the table here right now. We're just gonna sort
Oh,
this out
he
one
was
sec.
shooting as if he had 6 guys instead of 5.
You do the shooting if you want.
Uh-oh.
thought I had another guy.
Yeah,
Do you want me to reroll the shooting, or do you want me to take the attacks away here?
I think
I only took 1 damage, right? From the shooting?
Yes, I think so. So if you want to take the one back, actually.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right, so the table is deciding what to do about this since he did overshoot by accident.
so. He's just getting a wound back.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that does make
Okay, so 4 guys getting 12 attacks now.
Okay, yeah. So he just gives him back a wound because he basically only took 1 wound off in the shooting phase.
Moving on. First.
Well, actually, he did a little more than
Sorry
that.
about that.
No, you're good.
I'm glad I caught myself at least.
I wouldn't have known at all.
4 saves.
All right, so we've got 4 saves from the close combat attacks.
One goes.
Only 1 goes through.
Okay, so the end card's still alive.
Yeah.
Your ability to shoot, is it only shoot?
It's all.
Like
I'm
when you
gonna go
die?
and consolidate.
So
So-
Stephen is consolidating into the objective after he has fought there.
I can shoot my regular weapon at anything, including what I'm doing. So, let me get the codex and I'll read it.
And they're having
Yeah.
a bit of a discussion now on what the
So I have 6 attacks from the in-card,
text is for those guys when they die.
6 hits.
While they're doing that, the Incarn is attacking. All hits.
Fails.
So the errata says, do not remove the slain model yet. After the attacking unit has finished making all its attacks, the slain model can shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were your shooting phase.
Slain is driven to make one last attack before scaling to its injuries. Do not remove the slain model yet. After the attacking unit has finished making all its attacks, the slain model can make a shooting attack with one of its ranged weapons or throw a grenade. Even if the model's unit is within.
That's been errated.
The slain model is then removed as a cash space.
They took out the within 1 inch of the enemy.
All right, so we gotta let him know.
So, Blastmaster, D3.
Logan, would you be so kind as to go in there and
Yeah,
let them know what's
just a
going on?
second.
All right.
2 hits.
Yeah, before they roll too many dice here.
I have veterans until the end of the phase. So, technically, this is the fight phase.
Yeah, so the 2
So-
wounds. Do strength 8.
Oh, that's right. So, 2 wounds.
Are you aware of the errata? It looks like they took out the clauses
Okay. So,
All right, so everybody home, what we're doing right now is
one guy can shoot. It looks like
they were using
Because everyone else is.
the old rules for being able to fire their weapons on death.
3 hits. Still winning on 5s now. 2 wounds.
No, 4 is still right, because you would still have.
Yeah,
It didn't
4
matter,
is
but.
yeah. Damage 1 though.
All right, so they have undone the last set of dice rolls and redoing it here. So he said that he still can fire with 1, is that correct?
Yeah, with 1. 1 was not within engagement range.
Okay.
So I want to make sure. I'm just gonna make double sure and pull up because that's just on my PDF.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that worked out the way it did, although I wish I had paid more attention.
And the Incarn did wipe that squad. He's not consolidating into the cultists.
I'm engaging on all fronts. So I got there.
Are you 6 inches past the middle? Because this is part of the unit, right? So you're not.
So 22
You have to be 6.
for engage.
Never mind, I'm sorry. I'm thinking
That's
of the news.
Oculus,
Yes.
yep.
I'm thinking of that.
And it's also infantry only, so he can't roll on that. So I got 3 for engage, and I've started on one of my Oculus.
All right, looks like Steven's
Yeah.
going to get 3 for engage there.
That I just wanted to make sure because that FAQ, that errata happened in 2019,
Okay.
and but I checked in the current version of the errata, it's still worded that way, where they took out the within 1 inch clause. So that would have been huge,
Yeah.
huge.
I mean, just being able to fire all of your guns, man,
Yeah.
that's great.
yeah.
Nothing in the command phase. We're both.
And that actually explains his move there, is kind of using him as a sacrificial unit that he knew was going to get the fire anyways.
Right. Which I wonder, going back, he just puts one guy in engagement range and the others just trail behind.
Right, that would have been the play.
Or in the moving phase, yeah, and in my moving phase.
All right, so we're moving to top of turn 2, and we're going to get an updated score sheet here in just a moment.
But that's, man, it looks so empty without. It looks so empty without those bikes.
Yeah, it was a huge points investment.
I don't trading both bike units for one Contemptor,
not the most efficient.
especially when that one Contemptor only had one Volkite.
Right.
Like, that just does not feel good. Because, like, his Leviathan was forced to move in the direction where it's moving right now. And so he could have had those bikes make it really hard for that Leviathan to see anything and still put all those shots on the Contemptor.
All right, we're getting some updated score information here. So Jeff is getting 15 on primaries. Start of the
Yeah.
round.
And he controls 2, 4, and 6, so he can move off of them.
Yeah, he's got 1 for raise the banners and 2 for engage on all fronts. That's going to put him at 18 here.
They don't have super melted pistols. Yeah, so on average.
Yeah, just going over that, he does not have Super Melta on pistols. He's got old Melta.
Yes, which,
It's only, yeah,
unfortunate, but
very.
I definitely want to take the +1 damage or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's 3 inches to get.
It's a pistol. It's a pistol too. So like.
Okay, I think I'm assuming he's going for the fusion move on these dreadnoughts, which is huge. He's leaving that rapier alone, it seems.
The rapier's such a soft target. I mean, and it dumps out so many wounds. I get that he wants to kill the dreads because they're just so dangerous, but I mean, 4 heavy bolt shots or four heavy bolters.
Wait, is he getting out?
They're gonna get out. I'm gonna get out.
They're getting out.
They're getting out.
What are they doing? Oh, you know what? He can drop them there and have that transport just charge that rapier
Yeah.
and tie it up for the rest of the game.
Well, yeah, the rapier can shoot into it, but it's at -1 hit. Well, always. And then, yeah.
But actually, the Star Weaver, it has some melee attacks. It can chip it down.
And he can shoot it on the way in.
Oh, that's true.
He's in a weird spot.
Huh.
Definitely in a weird spot.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. So the boys are getting out.
But Jeff's got banners too, so I'm thinking he wants to raise banners on 4.
My brain didn't think about all the things that Slanesh can do there. And if I had,
I'm wondering if he... yeah.
But he's got a lot of options here. So he gets the guys out. He can
Pretty much.
move another 8. He can get into strike range of something while the transport does stuff. But, I mean, those guys are going to immediately die.
I think the Incarn has to come over and do Gaze of Iniad on that Leviathan.
I'm not familiar with that one. What is that?
That's the targeted smite. So if you get it, if he passes it, I think it's a 6. If he passes it, he rolls a d6. On a 1, he does 1 mortal wound. 2 through 5, he does d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, he does d6 mortal wounds.
Okay.
For line of sight, he is honestly there for.
Okay. So I'll just.
Yeah, so he moved that transport over. It looks like he's going to shoot into it and then charge it if he needs to.
So he's splitting up. So those players are probably going to come up and fusion something and then charge the cultists.
They can. I mean, that's like the only target they're going to be good against in close combat.
Yeah, and they should kill.
Or remember, those are the ones that shoot on death on a 4-up. So he could fusion pistol something and then charge a dread, and then when they get wiped, hope that they can counter and do some damage.
Yeah, that's going to be 5 attacks back from the dread, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s.
And they got a 4-up invul.
Yeah, so he probably loses a couple pistols, and then yeah,
That one's full.
fusion them.
Yeah.
All right.
And Harlequins do have a strat that if he tries to back out, I mean, he
Yes.
probably wouldn't, but if he does, then he can fire the weapons as well.
The vehicle will go to that spot.
Which never ever works for me, but it is a thing you can do.
It is a thing. Okay, well, he's continuing this plan of just like zoning out on the left side, but there are gaps. Without those bikes, there are a lot of gaps everywhere.
Yeah. And we can't forget about those cultists there in the bottom.
I think I missed the 5 up in my pan on that.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah,
Especially because there's always a chance too with 5 up pins that you're just like, oh, I just.
Oh yeah, he's still got players who planted the banner down there, which we couldn't see. So they can go pick up those cultists.
Surprise!
So he's got those 9 players. I guess, can they get the movement to go plant a banner?
I guess
They can. I mean, honestly, he's going to really need to be a little bit defensive and wait for those Terminators.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if he gets caught out of position, the Terminators are going to wipe his characters, and then that's going to be really hard to come back from.
Like, he could have just had that Troop Master doing that mission specific one on 2, because he has 3 right now. That would have been 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's grabbing 5, and he could just hold that this whole time. It could just be 4 more points. And so he is moving the Incarn over to the right. I'm assuming to get a gaze off, and then maybe Ancestor's Grace.
Between that and the fusion pistols, maybe take down the Leviathan. I don't know. Leviathan it's tough still.
If he had a way to kill off all those, so there's 9 cultists there. I don't think he did a morale check. He didn't do a morale check on those cultists.
Yeah, he did lose 1. I mean, it's low chance he's going to fail it.
But on a 6, he fails.
I will check with the table.
I mean, he might have, and we might have just
I'll just
missed
confirm.
it.
Because that would allow at least 1 more guy, 2 more guys to shoot. Definitely
Would have done it.
almost for sure would have taken up on this one.
The Shadow Seer will advance.
Okay, he moved the Starweaver back, so he's no longer on 0.5.
He did advance the Shadow Seer just now, though.
The 10-man will advance.
And he's moving up the 10 man behind him.
Gotta stay within 3 inches.
Oh, no.
Okay, they're coming out.
3 inches is the
This is bad, though.
double move, which is 6.
Because there's plenty of room for the Terminators to drop on top and destroy his Shadow Seer. Even if he moves, well, I mean, he could try and screen out with the transport. But the transport is not going to protect the Shadow Seer from with Look out, sir. Doesn't have enough wounds.
Because otherwise, 3 shots.
Did Anthony check on the morale?
I asked him to. I did not
Master will advance.
hear what happened there.
4.
You want me to go ask? Because this could affect movement if he... Well, maybe not.
Yeah, go ahead and check. Oh, no, he's asking right now.
Master will advance.
Only 1 of them died.
They have leadership 6.
They have leadership 7. If 1 of them dies, they can't pass. They can't fail.
Going 14 on that advance.
If 2 of them have leadership.
This 5-man.
Unless my book is wrong, they have leadership 6.
I can check on the app, and the app should be good. Maybe somebody in chat can help us out. Do cultists have leadership 6 or 7? Guardsmen are 7.
It's a
But these are not loyal guardsmen. They're cowards.
Chaos cultist champion, leadership 6, unless they get some kind of bonus. Is Emperor's Children or whatever give them a bonus?
No, the Black Legion
Black Legion?
gives them +1 leadership. So unless if there's some extra buff we don't know about, they're leadership 6 on their stat line. Yep, they're.
If I get that.
And on the list it said no mark. So, I don't know.
I think we're going to go for it. Okay. So we'll go to the psychic phase.
He's saying they're leadership 6. Unless you have a buff on him.
They should, Sergeant should be leadership 7.
All right, he's gonna read his book.
Yeah, we're checking real quick here. Yeah, because the app says 6, and I know the app's not always right.
He rolled the 6.
Oh, see it. Sometimes it makes a difference.
This is why you make your opponent roll dice, because you never know what's gonna happen.
All right, so we did fail that check. Loses a guy. And
Loses
then,
1 guy.
I mean, it's not.
Oh, 2 guys. He took
yeah.
2.
Well, he loses 1 automatically, and then he rolled a 1.
Oh,
so
sorry.
he got-
Yeah, naturally. Okay, so but that's huge. Like, if he can kill those 7 guys, then the Incarn can put a smite into the Leviathan. So
Right.
it like all builds on each other.
Right.
Reroll says. Yes, you do.
I need it then. Otherwise, I was giving you my Shadow Seer.
Yeah, you do.
probably not worth it, in the long run. So I'm just gonna wrap basically.
All right, so we did get the double move off, and he's going to have those players move a second time.
Yeah, he just wants to completely zone out the Terminators from the left side. Keep them off of 6 and 5.
But I think, that's important, but also he can't lose that Shadow Seer.
No.
Back in, he did not rule for chaos, but it was TA, 2 up ballistic skill instead of this 3 up. Just those 2 changes.
Did you put them in 2 of them? Prescience or something?
Yeah, with prescience, but then minuses to hit, bringing that to that's 3 up.
Okay, he keeps moving those players a little bit back. He's probably going to give those Terminators the corner there. And those Terminators come down. They're going to hurt.
Yeah.
They are going to hurt.
He can -1 them with lightning fast. So
He doesn't even have them on the point either.
But
We're all within 2 there.
not bad.
I don't know. I feel like Harlequins do their best. Their best life is dying
got
on the... Oh, he does have one? Okay, that's big.
First thing I'll try and do is Gaze of Yin Yang.
All right.
So this is Warp Charge 6.
Warp Charge 6 for
Goes off on an 8.
Yep.
Gaze.
So I'm going to target the Leviathan. 18 inches.
That was targeting Leviathan from
Yep.
Would you like to deny?
the Incarn.
Got off on a 8, so I need a 9. 12.
Got it.
Wow.
I'll try and smite.
Got the deny off.
I'm not
Jeez.
I don't know why I thought I could smite that.
You can smite the cultist.
Yeah, I can. Which I will do.
I lost the dice cam there for a sec. He did roll 12 on his deny.
Yeah. Couple more cultists die.
Cultist take him around.
That's my psychic phase. So going to the shooting phase. Starting here, I'm going to shoot at the yard.
So he's... So he's going to put some shots.
I'm actually going to shoot into the cultist.
Oh, he's changing up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best move. Because there's only 4 wounds left on that carrier. If he can get it down to like 1 or 2, he can melee to death. But at 4, the transport only has 3 attacks.
Yeah. So let's see if he was rolling against...
Yeah, he's rolling against cultists. Sorry.
Alright, we'll take it on 3 guys that are
He would have wounded that thing... what is the
passes.
cannon? String 6?
Yeah.
He would have wounded it 3 times, probably put a wound through.
Okay, next up.
Maybe 2.
5 fusion pistols going into this.
All right, we've got 5 fusion
Did
pistols.
you say
going
5? He only has 4 in his list.
Thank you for correcting me every single time and not remembering ever.
Oh.
So hitting on 3s. I'll hit.
Good roll.
And
Threes
winning
again.
on 3s.
Oh boy.
Should I go say something?
Oh, come on, man.
Yep. Go get him, Logan.
Sorry about that one. 5 emblems. There you go.
3, so 2 go through. 7 damage.
Your list, your players only...
You're right. We'll reroll it. I only have 4.
Okay.
I have 4. I usually run 5. Sure. So I'll just reroll. So 3s. 2. And 3s. 1.
That's better. And I failed. So 1.
All right, so we got 1 through for 5 damage. They went back and re-rolled it since he only has 4 fusion pistols, not 5.
He had a good roll, too.
Yeah, I know.
Do I spend CPs for 6 up
But he just took 5 damage. So,
So,
not,
yeah.
not the
I
worst.
know. You killed him.
Oh, I killed that one. Okay.
I kind of
That changes.
left that guy out there. Just to dry out a little bit.
So. Which would I rather get?
Can that Starweaver easy...
I'm gonna go
If,
6 shots here from the shuriken cannons first. So 6 shots from the shuriken cannons.
interesting.
Yeah, he's firing the shuriken cannon into, what was that? That's a dread?
Again.
Yeah, into the dread.
They're not loaded. They're not my dice. 5 to win. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 2 at minus 3.
We've got
Wow.
2 at -3 and
So
2 more at no AP.
So 2 at AP3, which is 5 at pinball. Pass 1, so he's taking 1.
So he takes 1 out of that.
1. So he's down to 3. So he's not dying here.
pass both of those. And he's down to 4 wounds remaining.
Oh, but he rolled a 5 for the damage. But then it's -1 damage.
No, that's shuriken cannons, not the pistols.
Well, I just mean like how many wounds, how much damage he took from the
He took
fusion.
5.
So he, is that after the -1?
No. 4
Okay.
then.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So he's at 4 wounds remaining.
4 fusion pistols.
All right, now we've got the fusion pistols from that boat
Yep.
trying to kill that Volkite Contemptor.
Oh,
Ugh,
one hit.
that is rough.
One hit. That's not good. I would re-roll that.
Yeah, I probably would too.
You're not doing it with one.
Down to 5. I'm gonna try it.
Yep, he's gonna re-roll it.
See if I get it back. Check 1. Nope.
He says he's down to 5.
Yeah, correcting his command point stuff here.
At least he got the hit.
2.
And he got both wounds.
5 up, doing okay? Pass 1.
Oh, one went through.
No.
Oh,
Yes, I did. Okay.
1 damage.
So that's all the shooting here.
Man, that feels bad. It also sums up every single time I use fusion pistols.
6 shuriken
Yeah.
shots into them.
D6 damage? You mean 1 damage?
Yes, no advance, so 3s followed by 2s. 1 miss. 2.
He's shooting those into the back guys, not the guys up top. I would have shot the guys up top, I think.
Those bad guys are toast. I mean, those 5 players are going to put out 25 attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just killed some guys up top and like definitely make them fail morale.
Here, the last thing I'll have to shoot.
You'd have to check range too. Cannon's only 24 inches, so I don't know if they're necessarily in range.
I did advance, so I'm -1 to hit on the assault weapon. So I just hit on a 3. Miss. Okay.
I think she's supposed to.
Oh, I think he was shooting the
The hallucinogen thing,
Doesn't matter. You didn't.
Yeah, I missed either way, but I'll double check.
which never works for me either. It's kind of a cool thing. You can do more
Yeah.
wounds if you beat their leadership, but yeah.
BS2. I've checked that myself because normally Psychers, one of the 2 that out on it too.
Interesting. So he hasn't killed any vehicles because he has no haywire.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm gonna shoot my
Well, I mean, the fusion should be killing vehicles, but he's just, I mean, you put 8 fusion pistols into that dread and couldn't take it down.
and then 3.
Yeah.
4 t-shirt saves.
All right, some t-shirt saves from the shuriken pistols from those troops.
Yes. Okay. Coming up to charge phase. My 5-man troop right here. I'm gonna multi-charge.
That was in the bottom left there.
And the quad.
So doing a multi-charge.
See what I get. An 8.
Okay, he has that. So he's going to grab the point off of him. So now that resets the data terminal because like he can't, it was his until his opponent controls it. Now his opponent controls it again. Now in his command phase, he's not going to control it. In
Right.
fact, he's not going to control anything. He's going to get zeroed.
Interesting.
And then he has to clear him off. Hopefully on his second turn, and then on his third turn, if he controls it, then he gets the data terminal back. Then he can move off of it. But basically, Jeff has just ensured that for more than half the game, he can't leave that objective.
Right.
At minimum. That's assuming he doesn't just kill him with fusion pistols.
So he's dropping that transport in there up against Leviathan. That one does not have any close combat weapons, so
No, just has 5 attacks, I believe.
should be able to tank this.
Should be able to tank it. It's when he gets to shoot. That's a little rough.
Well, I would assume that it will disappear when he shoots, but that means he's forced into shooting that transport instead of
Oh, yeah.
anything else.
And what's amazing here is he does that, like, assuming he can't put Terminators into the Incarn, and then he shoots into the Starweaver. Depending on how things are situated, he can just teleport over there and then
Oh, yeah.
heroically intervene into the Leviathan.
Yep. Oh, that's right. On the death of the transport. No,
Yeah.
it's clever.
So, yeah, that's why I was thinking he was going to just really push up his transports just to pull these kinds of moves all over. And he's got a Starweaver up top and on the right.
Yep.
And so, is Steven going, where's he going to put his Terminators? Is he going to put them in a place to prevent that play? Or is he going to put them in a place to just, like, try to attack into Jeff's deployment zone?
In that case, I don't have any CP to interrupt. Go ahead and move your guys, and I'm gonna pull. Okay. I think
So he's just going to pull those cultists. He's not going to make Jeff roll dice.
consolidate 3 inches after.
Yeah.
So he's just going right to his consolidate phase for that.
Either one of these two. It's kind of negligible.
You just have to be close.
Forgot I had this unit here.
So you can really move 3 inches any direction.
Yeah, I guess I'll always be closer. So I'm just gonna
Closer than when you started.
Leviathan will be getting 5 attacks, hitting on 3s.
How much damage?
Or I guess hitting on 4s because he's -1 to hit. Right?
It's only in shooting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just just as punchies. So 1 damage, strength 7. So
All right, well, it's got 6 wounds on that boat, so you can't kill him one round.
there you go. And he maintained outside of 3 inches for his character that's back there. That's giving all the rerolls.
3 up saves.
Haha! 1 damage.
Man, what would have happened?
See, I told you.
What would have happened?
Starweaver going into the Leviathan. Sure. Hitting on 3s.
Starweaver
And winning on 5.
punching that Leviathan.
1.
It's got a
For
wound.
one.
Passes.
No. No damage.
So the Harlequin troop.
I think you want to put all of your attacks that you can into that gun.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste them on the Dread. I mean, they're strength 3, no AP attacks. He's got no rerolls. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
fusion
the rapier
clowns.
carrier has 5 wounds, not 4. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, those fusion clowns are not particularly good at close combat unless you're trying to kill cultists or guardsmen. So
Four's going into the.
I think they're just there as a sacrificial thing.
One's going into the quad.
Oh, he's putting 4 into the contemptor.
So I'm gonna roll the one going into the quad mortar first. These are not frozen stars, so no bonus attack. So I'm hitting on all 3s, wounding on 5s, because I'm strength 3. Yes, these are dreamy shadow.
I guess that makes sense if it's the same defensive profile. Because they're both you're wounding.
The next.
Wait, you're strength 3?
Strength 3.
The strength of their weapon.
Then yeah, you're wounding on 6s versus 5s. You put all of your attacks into the rapier, where you're wounding on 5s
Yeah.
instead of 6s.
Right.
I'm sitting here going crud. That's strength 5. There's winning on 5s. That's a lot of attacks.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Might.
Yeah, the Harlequins without melee upgrades are all strength 3. The foot troops have the Harlequin's Kiss upgrade, so they are going to be striking on strength 4. But the fusion clowns, they just have the pistol upgrades to the melee ones. So yeah, they just have regular stabby sticks.
2. Oh, 3. Yeah. All right.
3 saves.
3 saves.
No CP, it's a true roll.
Iron within. Iron without. Oh,
Whoa, failed 2.
good enough. Yeah.
He got him.
He got him?
He got him. Those strength 3
What?
players got him. Oh, he's thinking about teleporting now.
Oh man,
I mean, I'm already. You can kill me if you want right there.
I got to say I did not expect that.
I did not expect that at all.
It's like a guaranteed easy way to do it.
He's not. So yeah, if he teleports over there, then he's getting in front of a sorcerer. So he's choosing to stay.
I'll do my pylons. So
The vehicle already went in there, so yeah.
these ones. These guys will pylons. Same.
Well, there you have it. If you can't kill a Dread with strength 8, AP minus 4, D6 damage weapons, just hit him with strength 3, no AP weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get to swing back with both of these? Do they get attacked?
Chat saying I wouldn't teleport. Yeah, I agree. That's the right move.
I'm gonna double check because we're getting a lot of rules wrong apparently on my list.
He's checking his.
Third because hateful so. Yeah, 2 base. So
Yeah, 2 base attacks for. He's just checking how many attacks he's got on the rapier carrier.
3s.
It's hitting on 3s and wounding on.
Did he roll 3 attacks?
3s.
No, he rolled 2.
Okay, yeah, because I don't see hateful assault on there, but he does have death to the false emperor.
No.
Well,
Shoot that fusion
No
pistol.
cheeky little fusion. And you killed the fusion guy though, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to try and get you.
he did lose a guy to that, the 2 attacks. So one guy gets run over. He did fail his fight on death roll, so he loses the fusion pistol.
So these guys first.
Oh, he did roll 3 attacks.
He did. So the rapier carriers, do they get their data sheet upgraded to get hateful assault? Or is that a Forge World thing? They just all get it?
I believe so. He did mention hateful assault, and he was checking it, so I think that's right.
Okay. And those guys pass. So
So at the end of my turn, I'm engaging on all fronts. So I have 3.
You've got one for band.
I don't see it in the Forge World book, but probably they added that.
Somebody in chat, please check for us. Because I don't have the Forge World book either.
So no characters yet, and I only have 3.
Yeah, apparently he's going off Battle Scribe.
Face. Stay.
Battle Scribe, always 100% correct. As
Always.
You know.
Go for primary.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a restroom.
Go for it. This goes.
Well, Jeff is taking a restroom break,
I currently hold this one,
and I guess we're about to have a little pause in the action. This is really interesting. Oh, did he do morale for those cultists?
Oh yeah, I did hold it with Starver. You're right.
He lost 2.
Yep.
Grab this one away from me. Leviathan's gonna stay.
If you need to take a break, go ahead and check that. I will stay here and we'll monitor Steven's turn.
Leviathan did not, so we'll roll for
Well, yeah. So, we know Jeff's in there, so I'll go check on that.
All right. All right, we are at the bottom of 2 here. Logan's going to go check on morale checks for the cultists in the top left.
I can delete everything that's in there. Thank you for catching on my mistakes. It's the first time I've ever did the mind freeze.
Yeah, now that we are in turn 2, it's going to be, or could be, Termy time. The table's pretty wide open. He's got a lot of options on where he wants to drop him. I mean, engage is one of his secondaries, so if he wants to drop somewhere and then shoot stuff off the table, and he's got just so many places to go. Yeah, chat's saying to drop them on points 3 and 4. That's probably a pretty good idea. I think he still has some cultists down there in the building directly above 4 that can move on to objective 4. If they advance, then they can probably string out a little bit and get both. Yeah, here comes the cultists from the building onto objective 4.
So, we forgot to have the Leviathan keep back.
Yes, we did.
So we're gonna roll that with us.
All right, table is saying that they did not fight back with the Leviathan against that Star Weaver, so they're going to go do that real quick.
So Leviathan, going here. This is melee, because we forgot to do this, so hitting on 3s.
These attacks are going to be hitting on 4s,
I am at that profile.
since he's bracketed right now.
2, 5, so
Should be wounding on 3s.
strength 7, 3s. 3 saves.
That's going to be 3 saves.
No idea, dude.
Just to answer chat, they did do morale on the cultists, and they rolled a 1, so passed.
Excellent. Okay. So
Star Weaver is now down to 4 wounds.
we're gonna have some guys drop in. First thing though, we are gonna have these cultists perform. So no, I cannot do that with them. So in that case, these guys will perform in that sector. So I've done these 2 table quarters now.
Cool. That'll get you 4 points. Thank God they changed it. Are you gonna come back?
Probably.
Almost stand over there waiting for this.
All right, and Logan is back. So, Logan, just to catch you up, we had some cultists move down onto objective 4.
Yep. Yeah, while I was walking by, Jeff told me, yeah, he was just going to move them, put them within that dense so that they wouldn't get the -1 to hit, so they could put some shots in the Incarn. That would be funny. They take him down. I mean, we just saw players kill a Dreadnought. Why
Yeah.
not? Autoguns kill a god.
It is funny. Sometimes you get those really just improbable things. Your strength 3, no AP las guns that just end up killing something that they really shouldn't.
Yeah. But 2 Contemptors are down. But they're not while we stand, we fight targets.
Come on.
No, it was the 2 blocks of Terminators and then the Leviathan, which is still standing.
So Terminator's coming down on point 3. So now Steven's starting to fight back for primary. That's big.
But dropping those Terminators there, they really don't have a thing to shoot at. I mean, he can pull the Rapier Carrier out and then fire at that transport.
That's true.
But then what? Oh, no, he can't because this is the end of the movement phase.
Yeah.
So they have got nothing to shoot at.
They're just saying this point 3 is mine. But if he only has one model on it, that Skyweaver can say, but is it? You just take it right back.
Oh, and he's got OBSEC troops inside the transport.
Right now,
No, those are the ones that got
Oh,
out.
they're empty, yeah.
Yeah.
still hold that one and this one and that one at this point. Correct. Ideally, those should all be gone. So it's start turn. I think at this point, you only have those 2. Yes. Right now. What do you have there? You got these guys.
Chester's there, the Star Weaver's there, and the 5-man.
So Steven is expecting to have everything locked up except for points 2 and 6.
Basically, we're on the edge of this building.
And is that where the other Terminator's coming down?
Looks like it. He does have a Death Jester in that building.
That's interesting. So we might see the table flip,
Right there.
where Steven just starts playing on the bottom, and then Jeff moves everything up to the top.
And that guy's still full, right?
Yes. That one and the one over there.
Well, my phone is actually almost dead, so I will not be able to really look up any rules. Should have charged it.
Well, I assume you have encyclopedic knowledge of every rule.
I do, but I like to check myself.
All right, I did just get a points and command point update from the board.
It's almost like I've taken 2 and he's taken 1.
So the scoreboard is now updated.
Oh, there's a troop unit right there, right outside of 4th, so that's where he's measuring from. Interesting. So
Oh, that's the firing target then for the Terminators on 3.
yeah, so he's just gonna make sure that he's got the bottom half of the board, basically.
Ooh, that's something right there. I mean, there's some danger here because the Harlequins are fast, and
Yes.
with the Shadow Seer, you can double move that larger blob of troops, which are out of firing range of the Terminators with the minus 6 inches to their firing thing. So you could, in theory, depending on how much stuff you can kill this round, Jeff could potentially get the bulk of those melee-oriented players into close combat next round.
They have caresses, right?
They do.
That's strength 5 AP2, 1 damage.
It'd be strength 4. Strength 4 AP minus 1 D3 damage.
Oh, okay.
But he can spend command points to add +1 to damage. And with the
And plus 1 to wound.
The other one is the feel no pain one.
For Frozen Stars. 2 CP plus 1 to wound.
I don't normally play Frozen Stars, so I don't know, but I will assume you're correct because you've got encyclopedic knowledge of everything.
Yeah, because they got that extra attack, 2 CP against plus 1 to wound against infantry, swarms, and bikers
Oh, yeah. I'm looking it up right now.
in the fight phase.
Yep. That's always the second.
Yep.
So these guys are performing an action to retrieve the data, so we get to go up to 4. We're going to have this heavy bolter now shoot into your vehicle.
All right, he's having the rapier shoot into combat. Those cultists, those 5-man cultists up top, did retrieve data, which is big. A lot of hits. Hitting on 4's got a lot of hits.
So 4 saves.
Alrighty.
Are Skyweavers only T5?
Yeah.
Do you explode?
Okay, so he does get the Skyweaver off of his back. And he just said he's not going to teleport. Makes sense.
Chaos Lord is going to put his combi bolter Indeed.
Yeah, you're right. Malicious Frenzy, 2 CP
Twos,
for Frozen Stars.
Rerolling. And
I
five.
think he's putting the Combi Bolter into the Yin card.
For us.
6 of Feeling Pain. Or do you reroll this?
I'll spend a CP to reroll it.
So he's spending CPU to reroll that. Fails it.
Got it. Good job, buddy.
So he killed the Incarn.
Oof.
That's a big oof.
Yep.
So he's down to 1 wound, huh?
Okay. So I want to confirm with you that because I can target things now that are outside, basically, what I'm trying to do is Leviathan's going to try and put enough shots into this to kill everything.
Yep.
And then also declare these as. But I want to make
So what Steven's doing now is he's going to allocate all the weapons from that Leviathan. He is going to allocate shots to units beyond engagement range with the assumption he's going to kill that Star Weaver with the first round of firing. So that's...
in that case, we're going to fire.
What's the split? I think he would do...
Oh, Player of Twilight that I did not roll for that
Right.
1 CP.
You did get it back.
Well,
Oh, he finally got a CP back for Player Twilight.
Hey.
There you go. I think you would go the split, probably Storm Cannon and 1 Volkite into that Star Weaver.
Second hunter killer into him.
Oh, and a Hunter Killer.
We'll put both Volkites into him, 1 Storm Cannon into him, and 1 Storm Cannon into them.
Okay, so he's going really conservative. He's only putting 1 Storm Cannon into the players.
From Chaos Lord,
Everything else, including this Hunter Killer missile.
we're at 4, but we did get Prescience off.
So it's strength 10.
Wounds.
So yeah, it wounds.
Ugh.
D6 damage.
D6.
The 6.
Womp.
So
How does that work?
For what?
If they swap out.
So he places
Yeah, so they're going to need to disembark here.
But I understand that part. How does it work?
So yeah, basically he just wasted Storm Cannon and Volkite shots.
It could, yeah. This Dreaming Shadow.
Is it Dreaming Shadow?
Yeah.
So the vehicle could fight when it dies.
But what, he has Storm Cannon already going into the players down there?
Yeah, 1 Storm Cannon, so he's got 8 shots.
All living. So we don't need to look.
None of his players died.
That's good.
I think he's just trying to get as much distance as he can from those characters down there. He could have had more distance.
But even if those
Their Storm Cannon right?
troops die, they can fire on a 4-up and put the fusion pistol into the Dread. So, I mean, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
All hit. 2 to wound.
All the shots hit.
Are they outside of 9, actually? Are they within the 9?
Checking.
They are.
They are?
So it's -1 to wound.
So 3 to
So
wound.
-1 to wound here. Gonna need 3s.
36.
Yeah, so there's a...
There's a 2 there we need to pick up. There we go.
There.
1 for each one.
5 saves, 4 up,
2 of them live.
2 live. That's enough to hold the point.
Yep.
Assuming he passes morale. What are they? Leadership 8?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Bolter from the sorcerer.
So can't fail. Actually, sorry, he can on a 6 if they're leadership 8.
They are leadership 8, yep.
Okay. So will he roll that 6?
1 save. Sorcerer going into here.
There's Chaos Sorcerer firing into those troops.
Dreaming Shadow.
Only 1 save there. Lost him. He does get to fire. He's firing his fusion pistol into Leviathan with a hit. And maybe a wound. And we're going to keep dice in the box. There's a wound.
5 up invuln.
5 of invul. Oh, man.
Bonk.
5 of invul.
This heavy bolter
Bounces that fusion pistol shot.
hitting on force.
I wouldn't be able to shoot the character, huh? I can only shoot the thing I'm in engagement with, right?
What was that?
I can only shoot the thing I'm in engagement with, right?
With pistols, yeah, you can't shoot outside.
Yeah. They're just asking where can he shoot his pistols. It has to be the thing that he's in engagement range with.
There are all these 2 ones.
But I mean, you could
Alright.
dunk on that carrier with 1 fusion pistol shot.
3 die. 4 die. That's squad. You got 3 fusion pistols left.
So the Shuriken pistol?
Shuriken pistol
Shuriken
gets
pistol,
the
obviously.
gets the fire. Wow, 1 -3 AP attack from the Shuriken pistol that goes through. So I guess there you go. Here's the 3 fusion pistols that are going to be firing back on 4s. One goes through, rolls a 1 and misses.
Obviously, the Shuriken pistol is going to do more damage. I probably would have CP re-rolled that
Oh, man,
to kill that thing because it's at 4 wounds.
it is now. Yeah,
I think you do that
I guarantee you rolled a 1 into a 1.
probably. Yeah.
How many of them are in rapid fire? If you wouldn't mind checking. 12-inch.
Yeah. He was not able to kill enough dreadnoughts on his first 2 turns because he lost his bikes.
Yeah,
The remainder will fire the plasma portion.
I really feel that
Hitting on 3s.
the fire and fade initially, not getting totally out of line of sight was huge.
That was huge. Also, forgetting his feel no pains on the bikes.
And that was also huge. Yes-ish. I mean, it's only 6 up, but you know they're 3 wound bikes, and that can really make a difference, especially on two damage weapons.
Yeah, because every once in a while you basically negate one.
Right.
Hitting on 3s.
Um,
And killing and wounding on 2s.
like
Okay, that hurt.
there was a 2 in there.
Oh, come on. 2 die.
That goeth the way of the forum.
Wow. So we only lost 2 out of that whole group.
Which is, that's nice, but man, he does not have much left.
No, he does not.
He's got one fusion boat and 9 players, and that is his offensive capability. And then like those players up there with fusion.
He's still got players in. Oh wait, did you mention the fusion boat on the
Yeah,
center left?
so yeah, the fusion boat, and then the remains of that other fusion boat.
Yeah. He's got the 5 guys in the bottom that are close combat, or they've got the Harlequin kisses. He's got the 9 blob with all the support characters in top left that are just not. I mean, they're not really in a great position to do damage.
We're going to have those front 3. We're going to have 4 in the back.
I feel like the way he wins this game is if he
This is going to go into this guy.
goes first, puts the haywire, kills the dreadnoughts, and spreads out enough to where the Terminators have to go in his deployment zone. Because like being able to come out here and affect 2 different points,
Okay, come on.
like you're not moving them.
Yeah.
3 saves.
I think his best way to win was just like, let me take out your range and force you into your zone. But he couldn't do it.
And then the 6 plasma.
All right. He loses 3 players in the bottom left,
Single shot.
leaving 1 out of that 5-man squad. He had lost 1 in the previous round.
Bottom, off to the side. The front 3. 4s. Reroll these ones. So that is 1 slain from the front row.
He's overcharging those.
It's the modified ones.
It's everything has been changed to unmodified.
I thought they had changed that.
So
Into the transport?
this many hits.
I believe so.
That's brave.
All right, so you got 6 saves at minus.
Yeah, because he's doing -1, so yeah.
4 out there.
4 damage.
Only fails 2.
Oh man.
Takes 4 damage.
Just
Down
roll
to 2.
average. Just average is all I'm asking for.
Down 2.
I'm not sure how much Jeff is going to have left on turn 4.
Turn 4. I mean,
We'll start the charge phase.
we discussed this at the beginning of the game. I mean, the Harlequin players tend to get tabled around turn 3 or 4. He's not, or they'll have like a couple characters left.
Yeah.
Small stuff. He does have offensive power there. It's just hard to mobilize it properly. He's
Yeah.
got 2 troop masters and the Shadow Seer and 9 melee kitted out guys sitting up there on 0.5. I mean, they can do damage. They just need to get to where they need to be.
Would you take those 9 players, run auto advance, Twilight Pathways? Can they move advance again?
I don't think they can advance with
Just
the Twilight
move?
Pathways, yeah.
So move advance, move, and then charge into his Leviathan.
Yeah, it's a big footprint. That's a big footprint.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, you've got... Steven doesn't have enough command points to interrupt, so if he can jump him with a bunch of units, he can actually get the damage in there. He can spend... Jeff can spend command points, like I said, to get the +1 to wound and the +1 damage. That 9-man blob can do a lot of damage.
See, it was sitting on 260.
Whoa, those Terminators just made a 12-inch charge.
Alright. Chaos Lord will
So that happened.
these guys-
What do you charge into? The sniper? Death Jester?
you wanna come over?
Probably.
Yeah, it looks like it. Because it doesn't look like he made it all the way to the transport.
My brain was looking at 6 and not.
Oof.
Oh, okay, well, that makes it easier for Jeff to counterattack, right? Here.
Yeah.
So it's within an inch and it looks like I'm 6 away. Let's ask for a second.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick in my favor.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that would be a 6. for that.
Would you mind measuring for us?
Oh, chat is pointing out that they can turn one of the dice into a 6. He doesn't have command
Yeah.
points, though. Doesn't that cost command points?
He's one for the turn. I don't think he spent one this turn.
Oh, yeah.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5. So I do a 5-inch charge or a 6-inch charge.
Oh, they're having Anthony make the call on a charge.
So I can hold my model down.
Yeah, chat's saying the initial roll was a 6 and a 1, and changed the 1 to a 6 for the 12-inch charge.
So then that's basically there. Sorcerer.
All right, so Anthony said that he was within 6, so that was a successful charge.
Sorcerer is making it on a 9.
So this is a little bit dangerous. I mean, he's going to go in there. He's probably going to kill those 4 players. He's got 3 fusion pistols left. The fusion pistols have not performed this game, but it only
Now's the
takes
time.
1. Yeah, 1 fusion pistol can kill each one of those characters.
And that, chat makes a good point. This is why you have an agreement with your opponent before you roll any dice. And I like to do that, like, okay, I think I need a 6-inch charge here. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. That is a great idea.
And then when we have that agreement and I roll a 6, there's no measuring. You know, it's like we already agreed.
So you're saying I shouldn't just roll my dice and say I made it?
It's typically good to communicate with your opponent before you roll dice. Typically.
Typically?
Not everyone plays like that. I've definitely seen people who just roll dice and then look at you and you're like, I don't know what to do right now.
Can you roll your dice behind a building? Is that acceptable?
Only under certain circumstances.
I think your 6 one's determined. I guess.
Yeah, charges in particular, you wanna just make that clear so that there's no feel bads. Because that's when you're getting into like old school like scatter die territory.
Oh, man. I'm so glad we don't have scatter die anymore.
It's like, man, you're holding that at more like a 45-degree
Yeah.
angle. It's more like a 34.
It's over it. It's touching.
I am not going to interrupt, so go ahead and do your next activation.
Sorcerer will go next.
I don't know if you ever saw people actually doing the, you'd have one ruler over the scatter dice and then other tape measure like perpendicular with it, and then you'd have the third one going, so you try to make like a parallel line.
That is
with the scatter
way
die.
more effort than I'd ever want to put into this.
Oh yeah.
Usually when I was playing with my friends, we'd just start yelling at each other. That usually resolved it.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're shooting like 4 frag missiles into a unit of orc boys, and you want to know like how many am I getting?
Yep. All right, so the 2 units in the top there, they did go into close combat and killed those troops.
Terminators are going to go ahead.
I'm assuming he did not get
Nope, no counterfire.
not nearly enough.
Roll it out if you want. We're going to go ahead and pile into.
Do you have rerolls for hit?
I do not have rerolls yet, but also each one has 4 attacks on the charge. Hitting on 3s, winning on 4s.
Are you going to string out those so only if you were swinging at him?
Some of them, but
If you're only going to swing 4 at him,
so I'm going to swing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of them's a sergeant, so it's going to.
Yeah, so it looks like they're piling into the transport and the Death Jester.
All right.
21. Just want to make sure I'm rolling the right numbers.
Yeah, this is when I see games like this, I kind of understand. Stephen Box, he plays a list with a ton of Harlequin troops.
Mm-hmm.
Plays 12 5-man players.
12 5-man players. Really?
Yes.
Are they?
They all have. I think they don't have caresses. I think they have kisses.
Okay.
You have caress, kiss, and
Embrace.
Embrace.
And a power sword if you really want.
They might have power swords, but yeah, he's got. So they all have the same weapons. So he's got 60 of those guys, and he's got the Incarn, and then 5 characters.
Wow.
Ooh, just by one. Well, I couldn't guarantee. Almost. I think that was worth rolling.
So yeah, he lost him by 1.
Nice. So yeah, he asked for him to dice it out. You know, might as well.
Yeah. Once again, with Harlequins, it's weird with the 4-up invul. Sometimes you tank things you really shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
So morale checks, those guys lost 3.
So I think we're just seeing.
6 I run. Nope.
Yeah, we're doing morale checks now. The unit on 6 passes. The lone guy in the bottom left passes.
Yes, I get to swing with the Star Weaver.
Looks like we skipped fighting with the Star Weaver, so they're gonna.
No, he's
fight.
doing that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hey, 2 saves on your
Snake
2-ups.
eyes? Nope.
So at the end of my turn,
So, assuming Steven wins this, win for round 3
Yes.
for the pairing, completely random.
It is mostly random.
Mostly random.
So we want to pick contestants that are going. We try not to recycle the same armies or the same teams over and over again.
Gotcha. So
because-
probably not XPZ or Harlequins.
Probably. But it largely depends on who signs up. So the more people we get to sign up for the Warmaster Challenge, the larger pool we get to pick out of, and then the more diverse teams and people and factions we see. So if anybody at home is interested in fighting on the Warmaster Challenge, you can go to our Discord or Facebook page. We have pinned posts and announcement posts on Facebook for how to sign up. I will be posting again tomorrow in both of those venues. I'll probably also post to Force.org, or you can come down to the shop and talk to me. I'm Eric, OBG Eric, or you can talk with any of our players or anybody at XPZ, and they can help you get signed up. We do this every 2 weeks. And for those of you that are not familiar, which I'm sure everyone is pretty familiar since you're watching the stream right now, this is a challenge where you go up against a person, and if you win, you continue on. It's basically like a single elimination. So once you win 3 in a row, you become the official War Master, which Logan was our first successful War Master here, being able to defeat 3 in a row. And he's getting his name permanently put up on a plaque in the shop here, our nice chain sword plaque.
It's a cool plaque.
Yeah, it's very cool. I need to get some pictures up. Which was donated to the shop from one of the players from XPZ. That is John.
I'm assuming he already rolled to make sure that none of those guys died. Or no, his
They just got out.
Yeah, it didn't die. The vehicle
Yeah.
didn't die. So he's still got that asset.
I was talking too much and did not increment the turn. Puts us top of 3. We're getting an updated score sheet here in briefly. I'm going to give Jeff another command point.
I think he scored 0 for this primary. And because he wasn't able to spread out and keep all of Steven's scoring stuff away from him, Steven is set up for a 15 to quickly recover from that 0 he was given.
This is such a close game. We still have so many troops on the field. And we can do a lot of things.
Steven's talking, saying he feels like this is definitely still a close game. He is thinking that he's got a lot of fast OBSEC left. Steven, though, still has 2 rapier carriers and a Leviathan.
Yeah.
And 20 Terminators.
It's kind of weird because I'm almost less afraid of the Terminators just because of their range issues and
Yes.
mobility. But, I mean, the Leviathan and the Rapiers can just delete an entire unit by themselves each turn.
Exactly. Yeah. So if those first 2 turns Jeff could have taken them down, especially if he could have, like that Leviathan and the Rapier on the objective 1. If he could have just taken those out and then forced Steven into the right side of the board, completely different game.
Yeah.
9-man troop.
And I kind of feel that the Incarn here was... It could have been a really clutch unit and just got killed way too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to do a heroic intervention into cultists, which is cool, but he's not really doing anything there.
Yeah, and he had other tools to take them out. I mean, the bikes could have easily just charged them and deleted them with no problems.
I'm thinking, like, you push those boats, like where he had that charge, that boat made it into engagement range with that Leviathan. Then he kills it, right? And then you pile out the guys, and then you teleport the Incarn behind the guys.
Right.
Master with the Twilight Fang.
All right, so the Shadow Seer did advance. He's down now next to the Terminators. The Troop Master with the Relic Twilight Fang rolled a 6. Wow, he's speedy. So he's coming on down there. Jumping over people with his flip belt.
Master.
And then the last Troop Master rolls a 2, giving him 9 inches of movement.
+1 for frozen target.
So now we've got that blob in there. We've got a bunch of overlapping auras. I mean, I think he has a pretty decent chance of killing those Terminators in close combat. He does have the fusion pistols in there still, which, as we've seen, are probably not going to do anything because fusion pistols.
Also, he lost his banner.
Yep. And he's abandoning 0.5. So there's still some cultists up there.
What are those?
Let's zoom and enhance. It is the remainder of the players that were previously on 6.
Okay, well, they can kill those cultists
So
and then die,
They
but
can, yeah.
or they go down in 6 and plant a banner. And then let the Star Weaver go up and probably kill those cultists.
The Star Weaver actually has a decent chance of shooting him off that with the shuriken cannons.
Yeah. They are -1 to hit.
first thing I'll try and do is
Yeah. But you only need to kill one to trigger a morale check. I mean,
Yeah.
1. And then I will try and webway dance on a 7. Goes off on a 7.
so he has the 6-up feel no pain again, and then he
And
smote.
that'll be it. So we'll go straight to
Only did 1 mortal wound, which is a little
A little disappointing.
the fusion pistols first. So
That's it for Psychic, so we're going into shooting. Fusion pistols, firing into the Terminators.
Interesting, he's not shooting the 9-man into him to try and get that 1 wound off.
Yeah, that would have been a good play.
2 wounds.
2 fusion pistol wounds going on to Invul.
So
First one kills a guy. Second one kills a guy.
So 1 dies, and then 4 damage on the other one to kill 2. But yeah, you're right. Shooting the shuriken pistols in there, he would have had, I think, 9-ish, maybe 1 rolls. The AP -3, you can do the 1 damage.
yeah, because he kind of invalidated his smite.
So look at that. The hallucinogen grenade actually did something. It hit, and then he rolled over the leadership, and so did D3 mortal wounds.
Because I got it like twice in a game against Necrons. So
Interesting.
I've never done a single one with that stupid thing.
10, yeah.
I think it is you roll 2d6 and have to get over their leadership.
Yep. Yep.
But hey, if it works, free smite.
Yeah.
So that's everything. So we'll just go to charges.
He's already in his short trace.
He didn't shoot the shuriken pistols, and he didn't shoot the cannons from the from the transport on 6 or the shuriken pistols from the guys on 0.5. All right, the remainder of the troops that were under 0.4 and the building below 0.4 have charged into the cultists up there successfully.
Master with the Twilight Fang will
Troop Master with Twilight Fang is charging into Terminators with the double 1.
Nice. Is he still? He's still in, so he couldn't fail.
Yeah, he still made it on 2 1s. Okay.
big, or actually, Troop Master with the Power Sword will go.
Other Troop Master with the Power Swords heading on in. He's real excited about it. Going to roll an 11.
All the way over. There.
And Shadow Seer's going in.
On a 7?
Gets in on the 7. They're not too bad in
Yeah,
close
what is-
combat.
What is the? Can't think of his melee profile.
It's like
Does he have a weapon?
he does. It's okay. I think it's like +2 strength, AP -2, D3 damage. I'm probably just making those numbers up. Let me actually check it. It hits sometimes and does some things, probably.
×2 strength, AP 4 flat damage. Yeah, it's pretty fine.
Misstave, strength,
9 man will charge.
+2, AP -1, D3 damage. That wasn't too off.
Yeah, that's fine. Has some AP, has a chance to do multiple damage. That's
Yeah.
good enough into current.
The problem is,
Chaos
and
Marine?
the reason I probably wouldn't charge him in there is because he is an Aura bot, and if he doesn't kill every single one of those Terminators, they're going to counterattack and just delete that guy.
But if he doesn't kill every one of those Terminators right now, what's he
Yeah,
doing?
That's fair.
he definitely put himself in a corner here.
I'd be surprised if I couldn't get all 9 of them.
Also, personal trick that I use for those guys, I glue a penny to their bases because
Oh, yes,
they
they
are
don't fall.
incredibly fiddly. The penalties of down some.
All right, he's talking about. Steven's talking about how he weighs down his bases by gluing pennies to the bottom. I actually glued nickels to the bottom of my 25s to get that nice little extra weight in there.
Okay.
Because yeah, when you're trying to balance those 25mm bases on terrain and stuff, if sometimes they can just be so weightless, they just tip over so easy. So all my Marines had nickels on them.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't roll over. Oh no, I got an 11 with the Master.
And you got a 10 with the single miniature.
Yeah. The little dudes. So 4. These do not get the fight first, right?
They do not. 'Cause even if they were Emperor's children,
Yeah, it looks like he's getting that top unit of troops in there as well. There's only 2 of them, but they're going to get 8 attacks, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so have certain tiers.
And he kept the Star Weaver on 0.6.
Damage is probably better than
He command terminaled it. He can move away. You know?
Yeah.
Like that I believe that rapier carrier is the only one on 0.1.
burn the frozen star.
If you go over there,
Oh, yeah, because you moved the characters off.
you can test that and you kill them off 0.4. You zero him again. Right now he's going to get 5. You need, like, anytime you can pick up 5 points in this situation, you have to take it.
Yeah.
Malicious Frenzy. 2 CP. So on a 2, I get that back. Nope. And then I will bound
So he's doing Malicious Frenzy. I believe that's the +1 to wound.
damage, and that is in there.
Sorry, what was that?
Malicious Frenzy, I believe, was the +1 to wound.
That's +1 to wound.
And now he's doing +1 damage.
Yeah.
Do I get it back on a 2?
So that's kind of what we were talking about before. You can really boost that squad.
So
Activates.
So these 8th edition Terminators should be dead.
Honestly, I don't think he needed to do the +1 to wound if he's got reroll wounds.
Yeah. But honestly, he's not spending his CP really on anything. So is he at 2 right now?
25.
3, I think.
Those aren't 2 each.
It's 2 damage.
I know 1 is 2. The Murderous Entrance, I think, is 1. I'm going to check here.
25 attacks from the caresses.
It's pretty good for 1.
10, 15, 20.
Oh, no Murderous Entrance is 2. So, yeah.
then he did.
But did you count him up for his 1 on the turn?
I believe I did. I'll get a table check.
Yeah.
Because I'm strength 5 and you're +1 to wound, and I have reroll the wound.
This is even with the blades.
This is only caresses. This is only
Yeah, he's rolling only the caresses right now. That's where all the damage is going to be. With the +1, they're going to be D3 +1, so at least 2. That's going to kill.
So
Range
every
fail.
1, 2, or 3 is a dead.
So 4, 7,
Healthy amount.
8
That's 8 right there.
would be the squad.
That's the squad.
Like
Okay.
the squad.
So he did it. So, I mean, there's 5. So he just took back 5 points. He now controls 0.2. If that Star Weaver is on 0.1, I mean, Anytime. I feel like Harlequins should be zeroing their opponents out like twice a game to win. Because you're more than likely your opponent's going to score 15 on turn 5 because you have nothing left.
Right.
So if you can zero them twice, then you're probably holding them to 15 to 30 primary points. And that's a good spot to be in to try to win.
So I can't exactly see where all of his stuff is here, but I don't think that this would be the worst use of the curtain call or curtain fall strat.
For the characters to redeploy?
No. To get that 9 blob of his, basically the majority of his damage dealing stuff into that line of sight blocking building.
Oh!
Yeah.
So instead of consolidating, just move.
Yeah.
I agree. And he still hasn't gotten any CP back, so maybe he rolls a 2. But then he kind of leaves his characters out in the open, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say. If they are sufficiently, because it looks like they're behind that building.
Oh, yeah.
Because as is, that 9 block is going to die. I mean, the dread's going to shoot it and it's going to die.
Yeah.
And that carrier's going to shoot it and it's going to die. I mean, not much is going to save those guys.
So some cultists are going to die? He's not even rolling saves? Oh, these guys have... What?
They have
presses.
yeah.
Yeah, so never mind.
With my pile in, I have no idea what's closer. Not that it matters. This unit's super dead.
Pretty decent.
12, 16. So it'll be
10 and change.
Yeah, so I mean,
3 inches. Do you want
I'll
to step
just,
off
I'll
the
just go
objective?
like this. Slide a little bit closer to you.
So, okay. So you're staying on the objective though.
Yep.
Okay.
He didn't need to. He didn't need to stay on that
He
objective.
did need to.
10 attacks.
Because, Steven's going to get 10 anyways. There's no way to stop him from doing it.
3s and 3s. Really hot.
Well, just 5, right? Because it's a hold 2, hold 3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. That's why, contesting point 1 would have been so good. Because now he's getting 5. Well, you can't let your opponent table you and score points.
Mm-hmm. You can do one or the other, but not both.
Yeah, not if Harlequins are going to win. They can't let you do both.
So, and at the end of your turn, engaging, you are on.
3, so I get 2.
Those guys are holding over. Should
Yeah,
be.
the middle's right here.
So 22.
All right, so we are going into bottom of turn 3.
He's still got that character down at the bottom, which is a Chaos Lord. I believe that's his Emperor's Champion one,
One more turn before you.
which does not have any relic. So he's just got a claw.
That's, yeah.
He's still okay. He can jump him in there, shoot something, and then try and kill a character.
Yeah, he can kill one thing or put a hurt into those 9-man. Like if he really hurts those 9-mans. Oh well, I mean he can just shoot the 9-man.
Yeah, get primary one time. And then. 5 for primary.
Yeah, we're going to bump up Steven 5 points for primary.
Servo schools.
I've already got those 2.
Yep. This is the only unit you can deal with now. Yeah.
Chaos Lord and Sorcerer.
Characters cannot. Did they change that?
That's actually.
Characters used to not be able to do it.
Some of them they can.
Yeah, we need to check that. He's asking, can he do retrieve servo skulls with characters? I didn't think you could.
It used to be.
Retrieve servo skulls. Let's look at the book.
That's what I did.
Retrieve
Excluding character use.
Octarius data.
yeah, excluding characters, right?
Yes, excluding characters.
So he just has the Terminators that can do it, but because he didn't kill those cultists at the top, they did it once. So that's basically 4 points that he gave there.
Super low scoring game as I anticipated.
Terminators are going to be performing the action in that corner, so that'll give me another 4 points
So
for that action, so it brings me up to 8 because I've done it 3 now.
Yeah, so he's got to do it with just infantry. His only infantry unit are the Terminators. He's already gotten it in 2 quarters, which is on the left side. He's got the bottom one early, turn 1. The top left quarter, turn 2. And now he can do it turn 3 here, which is 8 points. And he might not get 12 because those Terminators will have to run up.
I'm going to burn my 1 CP this turn to go ahead and auto heal the Leviathan up to 10.
Sweet. I will see if I get it back on 1. Nope.
So he spent 1 CP to heal the Leviathan for up to 3 wounds. That is what are they? Iron Warriors
Yeah.
stratagem. They have several pretty cool stratagems.
You can see the troops down there.
Yeah, so we did increment 1 and then -1 for that, so he's back to 0.
And this guy, move up to here to see a vehicle. This guy,
And see, if he would have killed the Leviathan instead of the Contemptor,
chugging along.
like it's still a ton of shots, but that's again 5 more points your way.
Yeah, that's true. It's just so much harder to kill a Leviathan versus a Contemptor.
Yeah, it's 5 more wounds, but
I always forget they don't move 6.
and it has 1 better armor, but
Alright, so psychic phase.
it all comes back down to those haywires, I guess.
Yeah. Really, you have to kill it with haywires. And if you had all 9 firing into it, there's a decent chance you could have killed it in 1 round.
That does go off.
Yeah, I mean it's not Imperial where they can just give it a 5-up feel no pain for 1 CP
Yeah.
Shooting phase.
against mortals.
Just going to go into that 3-man squad.
All right, that rapier carrier on the right side, center right, is going to fire into the 3-man troops on point 4. Hitting on 3s.
Yep, hits twice. Where are we looking at? 7 here? Nope, we're looking at 8.
That was just barely killed him. Oh no, he's got another 3 in there too. Yeah, okay.
4's 4.
The 4's reroll.
What's the Leviathan's firing range with the storm?
36.
Cannon? So down to 30 with the aura. Yeah, you could still get him.
Yeah. It's close, but yeah.
Yeah.
5 saves. Does it explode? Because it could take out those guys.
Oh, he's shooting the Star Weaver.
I mean,
Yeah, that little lip you see over on that building near point 6, it is like a lip, so the actual wall is a little bit farther in.
But I felt
Yeah, where we see.
1, I wouldn't have said anything. Let's put it that way.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, he
Explodes.
left his guys within 6, so he did roll the explosion. So it does kill a dude.
Man, that's unfortunate.
Possibly. Thanks for reminding me. The guy doesn't. That's. No.
Yeah. A 4 up on a
I got a
tier.
3 on the 10 and the 3 on that one too.
4 up on a
So his Dreaming Shadows have not been going off.
No.
Alright,
I
Leviathan.
understand why he does that, but I really feel like Soaring Spite would have been a better mask for this.
Yeah, and that's why it makes sense why I've seen the person, they ran like 10 or 15 bikes with the Warlord, giving them the +1 for that, and they just ran them all up and said, okay, on a 3-up, I shoot you.
The Vulcan's 30 inch range?
Nope, Volkite's 40.
Yeah. I know that one.
The Volkite is 30.
6, which become 30. So
He just said,
hitting on 3s, then
does he know the Volkites are 30?
Chaos Sword, ancient outring. 4's 2 on here.
Our table person is
On that.
away for the moment, so
3 saves and 1 more.
you want to go?
So the mortals, I'll just roll 6. So 4 ups.
All right. Logan is heading out there to chat with the table to make sure that they're getting the ranges right.
So the 1 failed, 2 damage. Yes, it does. That means it gets you.
Once again, thank you everyone for tuning into the Warmaster Challenge. We do run this every 2 weeks. We will be choosing a new challenger after this game, hopefully by Sunday night.
Logan coming in here.
If you are interested in checking that out, or signing up to participate, please check out our Facebook or Discord pages. Nightbot should be putting out links for that stuff in chat. All right, Logan is back, and did they null out the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was confused because the Contemptor Volkites are 45.
Yeah.
And he thought they were the same, and
Gotcha.
they're not.
And I re-rolled the ones here.
I didn't expect to talk this much about rules. But this is a complicated game.
Fancy man.
And actually, most of my games, I spend just double checking rules with my opponents. Like, I believe it's this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Third one, dead. Fourth one, dead. Yeah.
Almost. So 4 is
Yeah. So a bunch of those 2 damage shots got into the
Nothing else to shoot, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of it.
into the 9-man blob.
Chaos Sword can shoot.
You know, I'm trying telling Jeff that when you have 1 wound models and you have a feel no pain and they put 2 damage weapons into them, just roll the dice and then re-roll any successes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mathematically, it turns out to be the same, but it only works if you have 1 wound.
Yeah.
Like Chaos Sword in that now 5-man slot. All hits. 3s. 4s.
4 up to wound.
All 4s.
Wow.
Oh man.
4 up to wound, got all 4. 4 up save, failed all 4.
Yep.
I think the dice gods are saying we're done with this game.
Right.
And that'll be my turn. So with that puts me at 3 for engage, so 2 points.
So he's got 3 for engage again. Jeff.
So on a 1, I pass.
Right, so that, and then the guy that has 1 guy left, he's okay.
Doesn't he get 2 points for that? He's only in 3/4. Oh no, he's on. Oh yeah, he's only
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, so he's got the 2.
So I still have
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm still holding.
engage.
Okay, he has 1 guy on 2, so he scores. Do they both hold 3? They both. No, he scores 15.
Failing
So at this point, how many objectives do you have?
2.
2. So you get 5 for
He only has 2.
Literally.
No, he has 3.
Where's the third one? He's got 5, 2, and
6. His Story Weaver held it on his command phase.
But anyway, this guy's literally barely not touching it.
Alright.
I've got 2 more turns. You have ability.
and Logan is off again to talk to the table.
What happened to it?
So, data terminal?
Yeah.
6.
I have these 2.
And, oh, your
I don't have. Yeah, he's literally this.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Failing on morale and losing that unit by 1 cost me a 15.
Yes. So he does not have point 2.
Okay, so he doesn't hold.
Does not hold point 2. Yeah.
He does not hold point 2, and that's where
That is rough.
Yeah.
The guy is right there.
Yeah, that's huge. That goes from that's a 10
points. Ugh.
You can't. Oh yeah. So
So it's gonna give him 5.
Jeff.
Man. All right. And I'll give him a command point here. We are working on a way to update this from the table, and I'm going to be so happy when that is done.
Yeah, actually, I played in ATC on one of those featured tables, and it was pretty cool. They had tablets
Yep.
on the side. So yeah, when it was an old scoring in 8th, but you know, anytime we would update, we would do it, and it would just go right to
Yep.
the stream.
That's exactly what we're working on. We've got a little score sheet worked out that's modeled after the one that we are using for this game,
Yeah.
the paper one, and you just tap on it, and then I think you have to hit a button to submit, and it automatically updates
That's
the
cool.
stream. Yeah. Still in beta, so hopefully coming soon.
And I really appreciate that in this setting, where the time isn't such a factor, whereas in ATC, we were clocking each other and having a man a tablet,
Oh,
which
no.
we've never done before.
Jeez.
And we were mic'd, so we also had to speak up, and they would like come by and
Oh, wow.
like
That's
five
a lot to
tables.
worry about.
Yeah, I was like, guys, I'm trying to play a game here.
No, we need engagement.
Yeah, my team. My team. Pretty sure we did not win that round.
Get engaged next turn by deep striking something. So that would get me 2. So I get 7.
But yeah, having to do with all that definitely didn't help. So
I think Jeff's trying to map out here a potential path for victory.
Next turn, because next turn I'll hold these 3.
it is rough.
He just doesn't have a lot left on the board.
Math of everything we could do.
There's still too many variables.
Yeah.
If this were turn 5, we might be able to talk this out. But
I'm going to advance the Troop Master.
okay.
Turn 4 going first.
This is Twilight.
Yeah.
Got it.
So he's going here.
You know, what's funny is if he takes the Shadow Seer and that Relic Troop Master and just really rolls well on advances, he can slingshot that all the way across the board.
Yeah, can he get?
Shadow Seer is going to move.
All right, he can fight twice, right?
It's 3 command points.
Okay. I'm under, but it's. I guess technically I couldn't be there then, right?
No, you're fine. You're infantry. That would be really dumb.
I'm trying to figure out like what is his path to victory here. I mean, like he drove past all of the paths on his way to this point. Are there any exits left?
So what about getting
At the corner of the building.
15 command points? Or sorry, command points. What about primaries? How does he score primaries? Can he get any more 15s? Or
He can get more 15s.
or one more 15 since there's only one more round?
The one dude right there.
Right. He's definitely going to score 15 though. If he holds point 2, and then at the beginning of turn 5, Steven, he's only going to hold 3 and 1. He's not going to get someone on 4 unless if he makes an advance. With those Terminators, he doesn't have anything else in range. He's mapping out his Dreadnought, so his Dreadnought can grab it at the end of 5. So on his turn 4, he can keep him to a 5, and then he's probably going to score 15. Which again,
But does the Dread need to advance to do that?
no, at the end of turn 5, he can grab it.
Oh, because he's got bottom of 4
Yeah.
and then 5. Okay, I get you.
Yeah. So he'll be.
Because you hold 2, I hold 2.
That's right, because I jumped on it, then you jumped on it, then I knocked you
Yeah,
off.
because I didn't.
That's right. Okay.
That's why I was actually hoping. I forgot.
And this is why I like to use banners also, even when I'm not taking that secondary, just to like mark stuff like this. Oh well, I guess he's marked it. He's marked.
Actually, I'm going to go back.
Oh, wait, that's a banner on 5. Never mind.
Yeah.
But I like to mark data terminal stuff.
So Twilight Fang is gonna move.
I want that.
It's such an abstract thing.
So do you want to put him like right next to him like you had before? Yeah. You have him about 2 inches out.
So he is going to put some attacks into there because he wants to shut him off engage. Which
That makes sense.
could have zoned him out earlier from it, but he's going to shut him off of engage for turns 4 and 5.
Burn one of my CP. Go down to 2.
He's spending a CP for auto advance.
Strike this Harlequin troop.
Oh.
Next turn.
Okay.
He's putting the
Ooh,
Harlequin
okay.
troop into deep strike.
Well, I mean, I can't shoot my fusion pistol.
That is a bold move.
Yeah.
Bold move, Cotton.
And then, yeah. I'm gonna feed you my
Is
I mean, it's a close combat troop, so maybe.
can it? Where is he going to put that? Does he want to put it on point 4?
psychic. So my Shadow Seer is going to cast.
What about?
He didn't even plan. He could have planted a banner on point 2. Wait, one of the characters could have.
He's got characters down there still.
Putting a banner.
He still has the Shadow Seer and
Oh, so
one
he
Troop
did
Master.
banner too. Okay, good.
And then I'll
2 Troop Masters. Yeah, so 2's bannered.
goes off.
So you have 6 of feeling pain.
All right, 6 of Feel No Pain's back on.
Do that, and then we'll just go. He advanced, can't shoot. I'll shoot my hallucinogen grenade launcher because why not?
All right, into the shooting phase. Hallucinating
9, right? Didn't matter.
did not do anything.
Yeah, definitely not 3. Okay.
So,
Did he smite? What was the second power from that?
Clock, baby, let's go.
Into your lord.
Forgot the stupid mortal wounds.
I think he smited and he failed.
Guaranteed.
Well, I was hoping to get smite too. Then it was like easy mode. Okay, so
Yeah, so yeah, he did fail a smite.
+1 for Frozen Stars.
And it's turn 4.
All right, so this is the Relic Troop Master. It's going to get 9 attacks out of there. 4 natural or
Strength 5, so when you on 3.
5 plus 1, and then 4 for the round. Rerolling wounds.
No, he doesn't have Quarry for wound. He has Darkness Bite.
Gotcha.
Oh, this one has Darkness Bite, so it'll do moral wounds at the end.
Okay, he's gone.
Yeah, that wipes him out.
So it
3 for assassinate.
3 for assassinate, and again taking assassinate here instead of the mission secondary.
Yes, it was not my warlord. Okay.
That
Warlord's back here.
angle still gets me. Can I?
What's the mission secondary again?
So I've got this heavy bolt.
So mission secondary, you perform an action. Anyone can do it,
Mm.
and you on your next command phase. So they stay there through your whole turn, and then on your next command phase, you score based off of how many objectives you're holding. So like,
Unless you just make a fallback.
he's holding 2 or 3 each turn.
Right.
I think it's out of the regular.
It's just.
So
And you only have to have 1 unit do that? So, like, if he's got 3 objectives, 1 unit or that performs the action gets 3 points?
yeah.
Wow.
The curtain falls.
And on data terminal, where you can just start on the left and then move to the right,
Right. That would have been a pretty good pick, I think.
My last 2.
over assassinate, yeah.
See if I get it back. Nope.
So you get 8-inch movement.
Can I see that?
Go behind the
Yeah. That being the new 2021 chapter approved book, now available at Onboard Gaming. See, that's my one sales pitch for the whole time.
Here you go. Yeah, and it is
Alright.
any
Your turn.
unit,
So you're not engaging.
It's good.
not just infantry. Like,
Have that transport, perform that action.
exactly.
My movement phase. I get 1 CP. Starting my turn.
Well, that's the...
So we're in bottom of 4.
Yep.
Not a whole lot for him to do.
No.
And then those turns are going to advance.
I guess having all those guns isn't so good if you kill everything that quickly.
Terminator advancing, you get a 5. Jumping on point 4.
Oh, he got it.
No, that's difficult. That's difficult terrain. Yes, that is correct.
So he did get the advance that he needed. So he is going to keep Jeff to a 10.
I'm gonna check when I have to do this stratagem real fast.
I guess Jeff could drop on point 3. I don't. What is he gonna do with that? Is he gonna try to
We had guys on this side.
kill some characters? That makes sense.
He could drop behind the characters on point 1. I mean, they're OBSEC, so he can go in there and kill the characters, and now he's got OBSEC troops on 1, but he's just going to get shot off from the Dread.
Yeah, but that's 7 points in those characters.
That's true. That's probably the best play here,
Yeah.
but if he makes the charge. And there's no guarantee for that.
No. But a 9-inch charge with a reroll is 47% likely to happen.
He does not have a reroll, I don't think. Oh, you mean it's command reroll?
Yeah. So it's about a coin flip. The Terminators moved 10 inches, I believe.
1 CP for Chaos Familiar.
Did he measure out 10 or 11?
I couldn't see the thing.
They're significantly onto the point, so I don't
Yeah.
think the inch matters.
Yeah, even a 1 point or inch swing would put them on there.
Feel no pain.
All right, Psychic Powers to give a 5-up Feel No Pain to that Dread, which is definitely not dying anyways.
On a 6, that goes off.
So he's got.
You can warp time vehicles.
And he's warp timing the vehicle.
Warp tech.
Doesn't it just has to have a keyword, right?
Yeah, it
To-
just has to be the Legion, I
Yeah.
believe, for warp time. So he is warp timing.
Pick a now Legion.
Is
Get
it,
it with 3.
last question. Is that Iron Hands sorcerer?
Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors, sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Everything that is.
So he did get warp time off.
So. Yep.
Sweet.
I thought he had prescience and delightful agonies. He also has warp time.
Actually, we're just gonna.
let me check the list real quick.
We'll go down instead.
Gotcha.
Because you did call out Prescience and Delightful Agonies previously, but I don't remember Prescience being used.
Yeah, it's on his battalion.
Second phase is over. Shooting phase. He's gonna dump everything into that guy.
He also has a CP to change powers. So
Oh, that's what he was talking about. He was looking up a strat. So I think that's what he did right there.
okay. Should I confirm or we should just assume?
I'll just ask the table real quick. You don't have to go out there.
5 points for primary on turn 5.
Yeah, it makes sense that he did power swap there. Chaos is really good for that, especially when you have just like 1 CP. Let me go grab a warp time real quick.
So 3 total for banners now, right? That sounds right. We're going into
Yes,
turn
he has
5.
3 total for banners.
Assassin, engage. 10 total.
Yeah, being bottom of turn, he's going to get that 15. He did abandon 1. So Jeff can put guys on 1 and go for the charge and say, okay, you have to kill me off of this if you want to score this point.
But does he even need it?
Has 2 remaining. I always count down.
No. No. Well, I mean, if he holds 5 and 2, and that vehicle can't go through the ruined wall, so maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, he's trying to slingshot his characters up there.
I go up to 1 CP. What's the score?
Current score is. So you've got 25 primary, 3, 3, and 7. So 10, 13, 38.
All right, so we're updating
5, 10,
the score.
10, so 28, 28. And then he's got his 10 sleeper while he's there.
So 38, 38 right now.
No, 28, 38.
28, 38, and before while we stand.
No, that's sleeping. Yeah, so 38.
So the 28 is including.
Not including this.
Oh, yeah, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
That's 28, but he doesn't have, while we stand.
But I haven't scored. So that's the. I also have a chance.
I can almost.
Yeah, so you can drop on 3, charge the Terminators. If you get them, that's huge. That's huge. Because then you can hold 3, hold 4. Or you drop on 1.
You do have the 5 up.
He can't kill the Terminators with what he has.
And this is a.
He lost some players, right?
That was only a 5-man group. The 9-man's gone.
Okay, so currently 38.
Yeah.
I don't kill any of that. I don't score anymore. So if I come here.
And he doesn't have the reroll wounds aura or any other supporting stuff. So it's going to be rough.
Oh, and he got engaged.
You're going to score 2 more points for banners.
So if I kill a character, 2 more banners, that's 5. You're gonna get probably 15 primary.
He could drop on 1 and put a banner. I don't know.
I have to knock you off of 1 but live.
Knock me off 1, and I'm down to 10.
Can you put up a banner and turn you drop?
Yeah, because it's at the end of the movement phase.
Okay. I wasn't sure on the sequencing there.
I could be wrong. Let's see.
Knock me off, and reclaim 1.
So if I get 7 and kill 1 of your while we stands. So I'm gonna auto advance the Troop Master 6 for my last CP. See if I get it back on 1.
Yeah, end of the movement. So yeah, you can drop in banner.
So he is auto advancing the Troop Master.
I think you have to go for assassinate points. He's got a guy there to try to do it.
There. My Shadow Seer will advance.
Where is he putting that guy? Is he jumping him straight into the Terminators?
Looks like it.
Shadow Seer's moving up.
Wants to do a smite.
He's gonna, yeah, a smite and a Twilight Pathways.
He's bringing his unit down.
Between the Relic Troop Master and the
So
players.
he is putting him on 3. Or no, he's not. That's Steven measuring.
He could do it.
I think you go for assassinate points.
I think you've got a higher chance of succeeding through that than trying to kill the Terminators.
Oh yeah, and you drop on 1 at the end of the phase. He no longer controls 1, so he loses data terminal.
I can't get on there anyways without charging, so it's fine. I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Ooh, tricky. I forgot you get the fight first. Oh no, never mind. He's not. Only those guys.
Yeah, because if he can drop on point 1, he can take off data terminal or on 3. But I think they said that he's zoning out 3.
So he's gonna advance that lone troop on a 2. So he's going to 10.
Got his last troop squad down there advancing
Does that get me past?
for 10.
Looks like it does.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to get past the middle. I think this is middle actually. Yeah.
22.
He's just trying to get him across the border there so he can get to engage.
So I'll do that. Get you engaged.
It's going to be really close.
I almost threw that forward onto the table.
And then I'll put these 5 here. Try and get that juicy 9-inch stretch.
With no rerolls.
I guess he's also doing that for engage.
Because that puts him in all 4 table quarters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Psychic phase. Twilight Pathways.
Here we go. Twilight Pathways. Goes off on a 7. Nope. And no command points to reroll.
Could make that charge. It's a Hail Mary charge.
That's going to be a long charge.
So here, I can come in.
I'm just in 10.
Yeah.
So it's a 9.
So
Two
the
9-inches charge.
Yep, he's going to need a 9, so
So I'm gonna go here first.
Okay.
So Troop Master into your Chaos Lord.
not even shooting pistols. I probably would have shot pistols.
I probably, yeah.
And then
Do every little thing you can.
Yep.
I mean I expect to die. He's dying either way.
And he didn't smite either. I don't know if he's within smite range, but it looks like he should be.
Oh,
Okay. He needed a 9. He got the
that's
10.
huge. That is so huge.
Yeah, it is.
So the legions, we have a patrol from Emperor's Children and a battalion of Iron Warriors.
Oh!
Jeez, look at that.
Oh!
Troops make it in.
Come on, boys.
Um,
Survive this.
So
You know, he's got a pretty okay chance of killing those Terminators now.
can he put those players within range of, or is that the special relic?
That
Troop
is
Master.
the relic one. Yeah, so he's got the Darkness Bite thing to do mortal wounds, not the reroll wounds aura.
He's
Yeah.
got 5 attack space. Actually,
The other Troop Master with that
turn I remember.
is up there on the top.
1 for Frozen Stars and 5
For the turn.
for the turn.
So 11 attacks.
2s.
11 attacks.
Hitting on 2s.
3 of them.
Missed
These
3.
3-1s.
Oh.
3s.
3's the wound. These are all AP -2, and they are 2 flat damage.
I failed 2.
Oh,
Fell
man.
2.
We'll kill 3 after Darkness Spikes.
Yeah, so Darkness Bite does
That
mortal
was not
wounds
enough.
and kills another one. No.
Alright, and at this point, I get to fight. So, in here.
Yeah, so Terminator's getting to fight because they are Emperor's Children.
And he's going to wipe those players.
Yes.
Stay right there. Because
Yeah.
So we'll put 4 into the troop, 2 into him.
Okay.
Into your troop
You
master.
have this guy too.
Yeah. Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4.
So at the end of the charge phase, he controlled 0.3, which means that Steven lost data terminal.
threes. Okay, he's probably not dying. Pause, save. 5 saves, one for each one he's got.
4 ups. There's 1.
Wow. One player left.
Can you have always fight first?
No, that was the Troop Master.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
He's alive with 1 wound.
Guys, so that's 20 attacks.
Okay,
And the
20 attacks.
Yeah,
now.
the remainder of the attacks are going into the 5 players. 20 attacks. It's not looking real great. I mean, wounding on 3s and re-rolling. Oof.
Yeah, ending the charge phase on 3 will take away data terminal because you control it until your opponent controls the point on any subsequent phase. So, into the charge phase, that data terminal's gone.
So now you'll never forget it again. That's why.
I've never forgotten that ever. I was like, why is he taking 4-ups? He's not, you're not Mark of Zinch.
There you go.
Oh my god.
That could be like another 2 or 3 Johns.
That matters a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you could roll-
I'm living.
Well, he made up for it.
Wow.
Right there.
Well, those are some 4-ups he would have liked to have had earlier in the game.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, he does not lose all the troops.
And then this guy. And then I'll roll their
If they fight-
4-ups. So this is for the Shuriken pistol first. Dreaming Shadow? Nope.
Oh, these are Dreaming Shadow. I thought these were the Caress ones.
Shadow? I got none of those again.
He hasn't gotten any.
Well, the melee attacks aren't going to matter here.
Yeah, the fusion, those fusion pistols, man.
Consolidate
They never work for me, ever.
on top of them.
I still run them. I don't know why.
They look cool. They sound cool.
They're good on paper.
Okay. Yeah, and there. Yeah, 6 attacks.
That's a big deal.
Hitting on 2s. 1 miss. So this is the Power Sword.
This is the troop leader in the top center, hitting with Power Sword.
Is that the Warlord?
Yes, it is.
So you're T5.
Yep.
So 5's rerolling.
This one does have the reroll wounds aura. He's going to be wounding on 5s.
Whoa.
He's got 4. He's got maybe 5. No, 4.
Minus 3.
Minus 3.
This is Power Sword attacks, so they are minus 3.
That mattered so much.
And 4 pinball.
Now it's a 4-up, right?
Heal failed
No
2.
CP.
That will
Yeah. That kills him. It's okay.
So that's 4 points.
Yeah.
So it's another 3
That was
for
your
assassin.
roller?
That,
4 for
So I get
assassin.
4,
that's right,
yeah.
4. Yeah, the quad's a little bit closer. Do you want to pile into it? Okay. So, then those 2 guys, I did pile into you.
I do get a
That's
swing,
all I
yes.
can do.
So I am not frozen source, so these only regrades.
4 attacks each.
And they're just
And your
blades.
blades.
3.
Yeah, these are the regular Harlequin blades here on the players on 3.
2.
If they do anything, I'd be pretty surprised.
One
Hey.
guy takes
You got
Take a
one in
look.
the eye.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Alright.
It did more than the fusion pistols.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright,
You're
and
gonna
then
rewatch it. And then
this
you'll
guy
know.
right here, getting his 3 attacks, or no, 2 attacks. He's piled
So
in.
the rapier carrier is going to do its 2 attacks
Uploads death, so he
and
can't
does
reroll.
nothing.
There's the snake eyes.
Yeah, right?
1. Still
That
another
made
dead
a
one.
huge difference.
Yeah, because then it gives me a chance to live and swing.
Okay, so how many Terminators died?
Foul on those guys 'cause they lost 3.
They lost 3.
Uh,
Oh, come on. One time I want you to roll 6.
Okay,
Alright.
so I'm engaging on all
They
fronts.
Terminators are leadership 9?
Uh,
Engage, 4 for assassin.
at least 8. Because you rolled a 3.
Mark my 2 for
I lost, and they are leadership 9. I know that for a fact. 'Cause I
them.
looked
6 you could.
The board is saying leadership 9.
So
Cool.
6 would match.
Oh no, you. Never mind.
That seems like a lot of leadership.
I looked this up before, and I'm
Don't Marines have 8?
99.
Yeah, but I think Terminators are different.
Yep, leadership 9 with the champion moves right there.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know,
If I shot him with the hallucinogen, I would have.
normal Marine stuff is leadership 7, but the sergeant is 8, and then Terminators are like all sergeants, but then one super sergeant.
I need to engage
It's kind of how I think of it.
on all fronts.
Are you engaging?
Yeah, I got 3 for engaged that time. I have all 4. This guy's past the middle.
So he scored another free 3 for engage. So he's done scoring, except for his banners at the end, which
Which is what I control currently. I have this one. So 1, 2, 3 current.
Should put him up at 45.
Because you have that one.
so he scores 10.
It's at the end of the turn.
Yeah, he's at the end of the turn.
That is Jeff.
So I need to get you off that.
Oh well, sorry. I was
And then you go 50.
Okay.
they were talking primaries, but that doesn't matter right now.
Until the end of the
Kill
round.
everything.
Right. Because Terminators are going to fight first.
Yep. Because you fight first. Yep. That's clutch. Otherwise, I'd be fighting first there.
Yes.
That would have been nice too.
Alright, this sorcerer is going to go ahead and advance. Going 6 inches.
There's some very excited people out on the floor tonight.
So, what does he have to do? What is he trying to do?
The, you mean the,
Does he have any? Let's see.
I think is that the actual name?
yeah, it's retrieve.
He's missing one for data, right? Retrieve Octavian.
Yeah,
data?
he's only going to score 8 there.
It starts, so I have that one.
Could have kept him to 4.
He's gonna get 15 on primaries.
That's a mission.
He's going to get permission. He's going to get that.
They're all in the middle.
He can warp time that dreadnought to get into the quarter. So he will score 3 for engage, and then
And then while we stand, we fight. So
there's another 10. So he's
yeah.
So try,
they can just talk it out from here. He's going to win.
or do I kill you with that heavy bolter? Because mathematically I can get 4 turns. 4 Terminators.
So it's the same
Get.
with dice, right?
No, they get
So they're talking through their turns, trying to figure out what it's going to do. I don't think he realizes that, he's just down by 7, and then
as much as that.
he's already going to score 10 on primary.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's already won.
Because you can't. If you fall back, you can't not fall back.
A low scoring game.
Alright, well, psychic phase. Warp time. I have 1 CP. And I need to get a 6 here.
Oh, bumping up Steven's command points by 1.
He's going to advance.
He's currently warp timing.
So he's moving 13.
So he's just
So we'll go 7. Get me here. Another 6. To get me here.
Why can you change powers mid-game?
just going to go over there and take down that banner, which is big.
You got nothing
Yep.
on that, right?
Correct. So you don't even have to kill me.
Yep. Which I like better.
Uh, that takes a point away from Jeff because Jeff would have scored those 2 banners at the end.
It's that thing right there. The little sewage thing. That's the center, right on the dot.
Do you mind if we move this piece of terrain?
They're checking here for engage, I believe.
Can you measure if he's
You're
moved?
in 6 right now.
Okay. So in that case, he's already moved. He can't move again. So I can only score engage on 3 fronts.
Yeah, so he's missing engage on the top left corner.
So
He's
Yeah.
too close to the center.
at the end of the game, I will score 15 for primary.
Well, we do have to roll this.
Yes, we
I
do
could
have to
kill
roll
you
it.
with the troop master if
Yep.
you don't kill me.
So what we're going to do is now we're going to...
So he could have just fell back. Well, I guess he already holds 1, so that doesn't matter.
First. Pile in here. You,
Is it better move just to fall back here?
you sure?
Because you don't risk counterattack? Or is he just betting on killing the troop master?
Okay.
I think I guess he just wants to kill stuff. Yeah, did he have to stay in combat? Could he just like fallen back?
So moving closer.
Well, I guess to get the 15.
3.
If you're thinking of me fight first, he has always fight first. That's why I don't go first.
Okay.
And if it's something else, I have no idea what it is.
Alright, so we got 4 We'll do 4 Terminators and 3 Terminators. We're pretty clear this, but...
I'll heroically intervene into you.
Okay.
Oh, he can heroically intervene.
I'm just gonna base you because then I can get on the objective and contest.
That's a good idea.
On the long ball that I.
Oh, hey, that's actually pretty clever.
So that works. He's
So
grasping at straws.
first,
Yeah.
into your-
So the intent there on that lower left point is to heroically intervene and then activate and move on to the point to contest.
Here and contest. I don't think it matters though, because you're.
Because that dread can't kill him in close combat in one round.
Sure. But that's the Shadow Seer, right?
Yeah.
He can't kill that thing either. So he's just going to go contest.
Yeah, you're right. Maximum damage is 9.
Not remembering AP.
And then -1.
Oh, that's right.
That sucks.
4,
Character's dead.
6,
So he's got 0.4. He's got 1 and 4.
3,
Let's see if those two players can make this clutch victory.
Yeah.
should have missed 4. And 3 swim. Reroll.
He's got the rerolls. There's only like 2 players there.
Yeah. He's going to have to make a bucket of saves.
And he didn't.
Doesn't matter because you got 4.
Yeah, he lost 4.
Shoot back. 4 ups. 1.
One gets to shoot. Let's see if this does something for the first time this game. Hitting the wound. Here comes the 5-up.
There you go.
Every time, man.
We got it for Banner.
Yeah. Which is funny because oh no, he was in it.
Well, that does keep Steven to a 10.
Ongoing. So,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I will pile in, contest. Not that
All
it
right.
matters.
He's piling in and contesting.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
oh, I forgot to shoot that, but
I could swing there too. Well, not basically. I don't think I can shenanigan my way onto the objective though, because he's gonna be the closest. And I don't have CP.
well, also I can base you when I activate him.
True. If I don't kill you.
All right, they're figuring out what they want to roll here.
I don't have that
This
many
is in the
attacks.
True
I don't
Master?
have that many attacks. 3 attacks.
We're just rolling dice for fun. All right. That's the Shadow Seer, 3 attacks.
Minus 1.
Yeah. Fast.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna activate
Nothing
you
there.
now. Base you.
Jeff did declare his intent to put the Shadow Seer on. I think he already moved
He
him
did,
on.
yeah.
No wounds.
No wounds from the Rapier Carrier into that Troop Master in the top.
Hitting on
This really doesn't matter.
winning on 5s because I'm strength 4, rerolling everything because of choreographer
Actually,
4
winning
into
on
nothing.
on 4s. Because I am T5, your strength. No, your
Strength
strength.
4,
That's right.
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
And Leviathan.
And Leviathan swinging back. It can't kill that guy, so I don't.
Kill you.
Yeah, he's got 5 wounds and he's only got 4 attacks.
1 wound.
Nothing. I'm,
Does nothing. Slap fights all around.
2 doesn't wound me. It's minus 1 to wound.
That's right. So yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Okay. So at the end of my turn, I control more, so I will get 15 on front of me.
Yep. And you get the 2
I will
for
get
engage.
engaged.
Oh, yeah, because it's a contested, so it is a 15. Never mind. So 43 there. He scores a 2 there. That's already a tie. And then 10 for while we stand. So he's going to win by 10.
That's actually a lot closer than I was expecting out of this.
Because turn 1, I drop those guys back in.
But then you consider, like, he shuts him down for 5 if he would have made that other play.
Yep. And then he missed another 10 from not being on that lower left objective by 1 model.
Yeah.
Could have swung the game right there.
That could have been the game right there. Also, like the way he positioned his bikes, he could have shot up those cultists so they couldn't have grabbed up there. That's 6 points.
Yep.
Because that's an engage and that's the data. So
All
Anthony's
right.
scoring it.
Yeah, so Anthony's walking through. They're scoring it. This looks like a victory for Steven. We're going to get the final score here in just a moment. We're going to have the contestants come in and talk about the game a little bit, so stay tuned. All right, they're heading in right now.
Be 67, 56 with me.
Yes. Give me those 10 points. I worked hard for that.
What was the final score?
I think they said 67-56. We're going to get the paper here in a sec.
So our numbers were a little off.
All right, we've got the people here now. We're going to get the final score. It is
57-46.
57-46. I was totally off.
Yeah. 14 on engage, 8 for data. 7 assassinate, 4 banners. 10 on all fronts.
All right. Let's get that mic.
So you only got 3 during the game and then 1 banner at the end?
Banners was a really bad take.
Can you grab the mic there?
There it is.
All right, somebody grab this. All right, guys, so final score, 57-46. That was actually pretty close. So, Jeff, the challenger here, what was your thoughts here?
I picked very bad secondaries. I think I was 1,000,000% off better with doing retrieve Octavian data. I probably would have maxed that. I mean, you never know for sure. So you can make assumptions and say, well, I was in the right position to do it, but then, hindsight's 20/20, right?
I think you would have maxed it for sure.
Yeah, raise banners worked in my head, but on paper it didn't work when I looked at the table. I felt like I would have had to put myself in a really bad position to raise banners in the middle, and it would have gave him the opportunity to shoot me off really early.
Yeah, and then my secondaries, I was hoping to get the max on the retrieve Octavius, but it was pointed out to me that characters can't score it, so unfortunately I can only get 3. Did cost the Terminators a whole turn of doing nothing but moving.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up working out in the end, and I don't know that I would take anything else. Maybe grind them down instead of that one because I was pretty consistently doing
grind against Harlequins is pretty much, I think, an auto take.
Yeah. Other than that, man, it was a very, very close game, and it came down to a few rolls here and there.
Yeah, it was definitely really close for sure.
It was so good because Logan and I were talking through as the rounds would progress, and we're trying to guess what you're trying to do or where you're trying to score the points, and we're just going back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, oh, if you do this, then it evens up, or it goes ahead a little bit this way and that way, and even though you being Jeff took so many losses on that one round, it looked like you lost the majority of your forces there after the bikes got wiped out and then the troops after that.
Yeah.
But you still had a point advantage and still had a path to victory, and we're just trying to figure out how you're going to maneuver around that and dodge all the shooting and the Terminators and all this other gnarly stuff that was dropping on the board.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what Harlequins do, right? We talked about it a little bit before the game. I'm going to lose most of my stuff.
Right, yeah.
9 out of 10 matchups, I'm going to lose most of my stuff. But I think the beginning went really well for me. I was able to get on top of his home objective and pretty much do what I want to do with Harlequins, which was hem him in on his objectives. And that's kind of the path to victory. Like you said, I lost most of my stuff, but I was, at that point, set up in a way where I had control of most of the map. At that point, I was scoring more primary. But, sometimes you just don't have enough bodies at the end.
So one thing, and I couldn't figure this out. In round 1, you used Fire and Fade on your bikes and then moved them up. What was your intent there?
My intent was to be able to get some shots with the Dreaming Shadow ability when I died on his Leviathan.
Okay.
Because they were going to die.
So you
no
just
matter
kind
what.
of written
So
them
I was
off that
trying
they
to
were
get
gonna-
line of sight on his Leviathan. That way, when they did die, if I happen to roll 4+, I could chip some mortal wounds.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and when your unit of 4 bikes got shot up, it didn't look like you were taking field on pain saves.
It's because I was a different mask. I
Oh.
believe that, I could be wrong about this, but I believe Webway Dance is specific to mask.
Oh,
That's why I didn't do it, because they're Dreaming Shadow and the Shadow Seer is
okay.
Frozen Stars.
All right.
Yeah, one of the big moments that actually came out of that was the fact that he dropped his Yinkarn down right where the first unit of bikes disappeared, and then you forgot to move it back onto the second unit of bikes.
Oh, I didn't forget. I totally, just forgot that Slanesh can double shoot, and then I also didn't realize the, what was the other ability? Oh, when I didn't think about Veterans of the Long War when he was going to charge me, because I was thinking, he's strength 4, he's not going to really do anything in melee, but then when you stack Veterans of the Long War and the stratagems he hit, it's like, he has a really good chance to kill me. And in hindsight, now going forward, I know, don't let myself get hit by that.
We were saying the same thing. When they ran in, they were like, I guess he's just going to lose those guys. And then it was veterans and this and this and this. It's like, okay, well, now he can do damage. That's a lot scarier than we thought. And I mean, personally, you dump so many TP into that and it didn't initially kill him. I'm like, oh man, that could have been a big mistake. But it weakened him enough that it was pretty much a non-issue to drop him the next round.
Yeah, I was actually really terrified about that for a minute. We did. Thank you to Logan for pointing out numerous mistakes on my part with that squad. It's the first time I've actually played with them. My idea was, okay, even if they... So basically, you run them as a sacrifice unit. And so what would happen would be that they shoot into him, hopefully taking him down to next to nothing. And when I saw he's on like, I think it was 3 wounds remaining or something like that. It was only three or four wounds remaining. Just run the guys in. They already have base 2 attacks, and they get a third one. Plus the sergeant has a chainsword, so I get 5 attacks with that guy. Chew off a few more, get him down to maybe 1, and then with the the cacophony that they had, use that ability to shoot him off. However, I didn't realize that they had to be outside of an inch, and so I probably could have played that better so that 2 or 3 guys got shoot instead of 1. And that was a mistake that now I know for the next time, and I think that was kind of a key play because that's a big point sink into that character that can do so much, and now he's gone.
Yeah, for nothing, pretty much, if it died right there.
And I'm curious, Jeff, like when you had turn 1, did you put any thought into redeploying anything? And also, did you put any thought into just like, could your 5-man bikes have taken on his Leviathan after a double move, like maybe in advance?
I did think about the redeploy. I felt good about where I was at with the bikes, so I figured I could drop one of the dreads, which I did. I was hoping to live with one of the units through the following turn, which I didn't. But I didn't redeploy the other stuff just to save the CP because I felt I could play the long game with the units, and I could take up his shooting with the Haywire, and then kind of just hide the infantry units until the Terminators came in. And then the reason I didn't double move the bikes was just because I didn't feel good about my odds to drop the Leviathan with 1 unit. And I also really, this is a personal, probably a bad thing on my part. Turn 1, I don't like to invest a 250 point unit on a 7-up roll. That could just leave me in a terrible position. That's why I didn't do that. Now it's got a huge upside, obviously, but that was my specific reason for not doing it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, Steven, you brought a very similar list that you did last time. What do you think was your MVP or star player in this game?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If I had to pick one, honestly, the sorcerer this time, because the warp time at the end of the game, kicking in and just spending the 1 CP and getting that off, to go get the Leviathan to go not only engage for 2 points but also knock off one of his banners, and solidify. I should have played it so I solidified that I was going to hold that objective. But just the prescience and the ability to get myself back to a 3-up to hit with the Leviathan or a Contemptor, it ended up being Leviathan every time. But going back to a 3-up to hit with rerolling 1s, I'm going to do so much more damage than if I was hitting on 4s rerolling 1s.
Right. Was there any units that you felt didn't quite perform this time?
The Cultists could have done more, especially against Harlequins. I really wish that they had been in a better... I misplayed them. I wish they had been in a better position to put some shots down into them, because even at strength 3, against Harlequins, I'm winning on 5s or winning on 4s, which is far better than they normally do. So, I mean, the Cultists kind of underperformed. Everything else, I think, did as expected, did what I wanted it to do. So, I'm happy with how it turned out. There was a couple moments there where I was going, oh crud. Especially when he got first turn and he had 9 bikes available to then just go into the Leviathan with everything. I thought the Leviathan was gone, but then he took after the Contemptor, not Leviathan, the Contemptor, with the Chain Fist, and the Contemptor with Chain Fist, and I was like, all right, that's one unit I'm more than happy to give up turn 1, especially if you're going to put all the Haywire into that. So now the Leviathan's at full brackets to go and punish you for what you did.
Wow.
Yeah. To me, it definitely seemed like the Leviathan really pulled its weight and, put a lot of hurt into a lot of different units and was just kind of everywhere.
Jeff, what about you? Same question.
What did I like? I mean, I always liked the Haywire. Whenever you get to shoot him, it's nice.
It's such a fun
it's
feeling.
Really going first, and I hate units that are like this, but going first is so important with that unit because if he goes first, it's really hard to hide a footprint of that size because
so
their bases
huge.
are big.
Yeah,
they're really
big.
long, so it's hard to hide them. So I mean, if he gets to shoot them first, right? He does what he did to them on the following on bottom turn one. Before I get to shoot, I just lose them sometimes. So I always like to be able to trade a Dreadnought with them. Because, like you saw, his final Dreadnought was able to pretty much just pick up almost my whole army.
Yeah.
So without them, it's a pretty uphill battle, I would say. The underperform, definitely, and it was my fault, was the Unicorn. I didn't get any value out of that. Nothing. I think I killed a couple. I killed the Noise Marines. I killed the Noise Marines. So,
I'm like that trade.
yeah, and then it's one of those things, too, that it's so good late game. And I didn't get any of that. I got none of that. And it was a misplay on my part. Now I know with the matchup experience because there's so many instances later in that game where I was like, man, if I was just able to teleport the Incarn here, he would have been in a way worse spot with his decision making. And then at the same time, too, if he decided to let him go there and it comes up with full wounds, maybe I'm not worried about taking the hit. And it's just a whole different ball game if I have that in there. So like I said before the game, if you don't use him right and he gets nothing done for you, it's a pretty big uphill battle, and it was tough for me after that.
Hey, don't knock that Troop Master, though, for you. Just freaking 11 attacks.
Oh, yeah. I also forgot he was -3 turn 5, so that would have cleared a couple more Terminators. I don't know how many 4s were rolled on the saves, but the Troop Master for sure with Twilight Fang is always amazing. It's a better Solitaire. I mean,
Why
it really is.
-3 turn 5?
The sword is -3, but when we did the rolls, for some reason I told him it was -2, so we rolled it
that's
as a
what I thought it was,
-2 sword. Yeah, but it's -3. It's AP3, so
Oh,
that was my
yeah,
fault.
Okay. Yeah.
And it happens. I mean, I've never forgotten that before because it's such an awesome weapon. But maybe the pressure got to me. I was like, oh, there's a camera over my head. I can't do this. So the
And we
Troop
got
Master
Logan
is
running
always
in there in a
amazing.
few minutes to just mess with you
Tell
guys.
Steven what he's doing wrong.
Yeah, I think it went as I pretty much expected. He had a lot of shooting, so whenever he got to look at me, I was going to fall over. But it was just about managing the movement and being able to score primary. I think once we got halfway through the game, I realized that it was going to come down to secondary and that I had picked bad secondaries. So,
I'll tell you what, man.
learning
I
for
mean,
sure.
it wasn't anybody's fault or tactics or anything, but every time I had to report that a fusion pistol once again didn't do anything, I was just like upset.
Oh, now that I think about it, other than the Incarn dying, the biggest thing that I was most disappointed about was I think I only got 4 Dreaming Shadows off of all my
the
Dreaming Shadow
whole
models that
freaking
died.
game.
That was a little bit
You
of a
got
bummer.
4 from your bikes.
The bikes were nice because I was able to do some. I half killed the Leviathan, right? With that.
Yeah, pretty
That
much.
was nice. And then I got 1 fusion pistol out of the 12, and he made his emblem safe. So,
Yep.
you build into it, and you're relying on a 4-up. Sometimes it's really clutch. Sometimes it's not.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Logan. Any closing thoughts here?
Yeah, it was bloody like we thought. Way closer than what we kind of thought it was going to be after a little bit. So yeah, good game, and yeah, now we see what is going to go up against the Chaos Space Marines in a couple weeks.
I do have one final question. It's actually for you. So, from what I understand, you got to pick the mission, right?
Yes.
So, why did you pick this mission, considering the fact that with this open style terrain, I'm going to get so many firing lanes for a heavy shooting army?
So I picked the mission before the terrain was set. So I picked this mission specifically because I wanted to spread you out. Because I knew you wanted to stand next to your characters with your dreadnoughts and just shoot across the table. So I figured if you had to come out, get the objectives, and then it worked for me early where I was on the objective, and then once I left it, I still held it, was my idea. I was going to get on top of you but still be holding multiple objectives. Those two things hand in hand. And then my idea was to put banners on them and then not be touched, but that didn't work. I think in hindsight too, I don't have enough units to put up that many banners. Especially with how important each unit becomes, especially once the game starts going, every unit is really important. But those were the reasons that I picked that mission.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations again, Steven. Steven from Shadowrunners here now has 2 wins, 1 more, and he'll be the next Warmaster. And thanks, Jeff from XBZ here for playing tonight. It's been really fun. Thanks again to Logan, my co-commentator tonight from Vanguard Tactics. And that is all we have for tonight. Until next time, I'm Eric from OBG.